Department has been returned to the city of Seattle. KIRO News Radio's James Lynch has more.
It was back in 2012 that the DOJ and the city of Seattle entered into a consent decree to address findings that SPD engaged in a pattern or practice of unnecessary or excessive force. Mayor Harrell says the culture of the department has changed.
When you look at the use of force, 2012, 1 out of 5 incidents involving the police, there was unreasonable force. Now, less than 1%.
Harrell says officers now know there are expectations and there will be consequences. In Seattle, James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Chelan County investigators still don't know if Travis Decker is dead or alive, but they have learned more about the bones recovered during last week's search effort.
The bones recovered near the Leavenworth campsite where Decker allegedly killed his 3 young daughters more than 3 months ago are not human, according to the FBI. Crews searched a 250-acre area over 2 days and found those bones, but no sign of Decker. Chelan County Sheriff Mike Morrison spoke with reporters last week.
We will not relent. We will not give up until this investigation is concluded. U.S.
Marshals Service is offering a reward of up to $20,000 for information leading directly to Travis Decker's arrest. Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
A Thurston County commissioner is introducing a local ordinance that would keep federal immigration agents out of areas where firefighters are battling wildfires. After Border Control arrested 2 firefighters and forced 42 other contract firefighters to leave the Bear Gulch wildfire.
I've been in the fire service for almost 30 years, and this is not business as usual.
Commissioner Wayne Fournier's proposal would designate emergency operations as non-interference zones. If federal officers need to contact first responders, the feds would have to coordinate with local incident commanders and guarantee due process. The county's legal team is reviewing the ordinance right now. The Bear Gulch wildfire is now burning more than 9,400 acres and is 10% contained. 200 firefighters are on the scene. And a federal judge spent 3 hours Wednesday hearing objections to a deal between Boeing and the U.S. Justice Department. That agreement allows Boeing to avoid prosecution stemming from those 2 fatal 737 MAX crashes. Attorney Mark Lindquist represents victims' families.
Family members are frustrated in a couple of different ways. Number one, that this has just dragged on for several years. And number two, they feel like it's not leading to a resolution that feels just.
The DOJ deal drops independent oversight of Boeing in favor of a compliance consultant and requires the company to pay nearly $700 million in fines and victim compensation. The judge has not yet ruled. Meanwhile, a man who was found dead at Burning Man Arts Music Festival over the weekend was identified as a resident of Washington State. KIRO 7 TV's Elle Thomas has details.
He was a Russian national who called Tacoma home. Police found Vadim Kruglov in a pool of blood near the start of the burn on Saturday night. Investigators declared it a homicide. The county medical examiner identified Kruglov. According to a GoFundMe, he was a common attendant at the festival. Almost $12,000 has been raised. According to his friends, the money will be used to send his remains back to his parents in Russia.
The Mariners are heading home after a tough trip to Tampa. They lost again last night, 9-4. In case you missed it, this is how the game started.
Adrian Hauser has just tied a major league record. 3 pitches, 3 outs, and that's it for the Mariners here in the top of the first inning.
That was Rick Riz on our sister station, 710 Seattle Sports. That completes a 3-game sweep by the Rays. Mariners starter George Kirby lasted just 2 innings, the shortest outing of his career. He gave up 8 runs, 7 of them earned. The Mariners are now 73-67. They've lost 5 of 6 and 14 of their last 20. The Mariners take today off and start a 3-game series with Atlanta tomorrow at T-Mobile Park. And now for your KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. No crashes to report on the road, just average drive times this morning. And for your forecast, we're starting off a little bit cloudy, but highs today will be in the mid-70s to 80s. And right now, it's about 60 in downtown Seattle. Coming up, CBS's Scott McFarland joins us with the latest on whether federal troops could be sent to Chicago and other cities. I'm Katrina Gashard. You're listening to KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This hour of Seattle's Morning News is brought to you by Closets by Design Seattle.
Man wide open, touchdown on Seahawks.
Celebrating 50 years of Seahawks football with the voice of the Seahawks, Steve Rabel.
Number 71, Walter Jones, left tackle. The anchor to the left side of the offensive line for the Seahawks that went to the Super Bowl. One of the best players in franchise history.
Since the beginning, KIRO is where Seattle and the Pacific Northwest have heard the Seahawks play. Here's to the next 50 years.
Change is always happening. It's part of life. And when it comes to music, change is all around us. Songs are rewritten. Classics are remixed. Bands and artists come and go. Even our taste in music changes. Here at Xfinity, we know there's still good in keeping some things the same. That's why we want to do our part with a 5-year price guarantee on our internet. It means no matter what changes, you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with our best equipment included for a price that stays exactly the same. Surprised? Life is full of them. One internet price, 5 years, guaranteed. Learn more at xfinity.com/deals. Restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024.
Eric Johnson here. I spent the past 30 years working to help make our community better informed, better protected when it comes to consumer issues, and better equipped to take on whatever life throws at us. That's why I love the free Washington Accident book series from Davis Law Group. These books keep us better informed about the law, better able to protect ourselves on and off the road, and better off when all is said and done after an accident. Chris Davis didn't have to write these books. He did it because he saw a need. People who were in accidents or other legal situations didn't know what to do, what pictures to take, documents to request. Only a tiny fraction of the people who get these free books will ever become clients of Davis Law Group, but that's not the point. Chris wrote them because it was the right thing to do. The free Washington Accident book series is a must-have for drivers who want to be prepared for whatever the road might throw at them. Get yours at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
Did you know that nearly half the homes in Western Washington are not properly insulated or not insulated at all? That may be the reason why your home is way too hot in the summer and way too cold in the winter. It may also be the reason that your energy bills are sky high. Right now, Insulation Northwest is offering a free inspection of your home's insulation. This is a $199 value and it's absolutely free, no obligation. Just call today and Insulation Northwest will arrange a time that works with your schedule. We'll perform a thorough exam of your home's insulation and give you the advice you need to start saving thousands. Everyone who calls today will also receive a free infrared screening of your home using the latest technology. This will help reveal any hidden flaws in your home's protective energy blanket. What do you have to lose? It only takes about an hour and it's absolutely free. Call Insulation Northwest today, the real insulation company.
InsulationNorthwest.com. Seattle's tradition for news and conversation. This is Seattle's Morning News with Charlie Harger and Manda Factor.
Thanks for making us part of your day. Well, President Trump is promising to send ICE agents and possibly the National Guard to certain U.S. cities.
CBS News correspondent Scott McFarland joins us live, breaking down whether federal troops could be sent to Chicago, maybe even beyond. Scott, bring us up to speed.
The president's not saying when, but he's saying there will be a National Guard deployment in Chicago, whether the governor and mayor like it or not. It could happen as early as this week, presumably, but it's going to look a lot different and feel a lot different than what's happening here in Washington, D.C., where the president has unilateral control over the National Guard. He has them deployed in neighborhoods, on streets, on sidewalks, being part of a law enforcement mission. Doesn't quite have that power in Chicago, so it may look like what it looked like in Los Angeles earlier this summer when you had National Guard protecting federal buildings and federal agents as they're deployed on streets.
Illinois Governor J.D. Pritzker is not mincing any words when it comes to the idea of troops moving in, right?
And he says this should never be considered normal. He refuses to accept this as a new normal, the use of military troops in U.S. communities. Not only does he say he will try to oppose this, but he's going to bring this to court. There's going to be some legal challenge mustered by the governor and the state of Illinois against the Trump administration. And you can just throw that on top of the pile, Amanda, of 500-plus legal challenges that have been filed so far in this first year of this second Trump term.
Scott, you are CBS's justice correspondent. Talk to us about this federal judge's ruling in California saying what was happening there is illegal and what impact that might have on the Chicago deployments.
Let's see if this ruling in the federal court in San Francisco impacts beyond that district, that northern district of California. It's unclear right now if it's binding on other districts around the country or if this is just headed to the Supreme Court no matter what. But the federal judge, Charles Breyer, issued a pretty striking ruling here, over 50 pages, saying you can't have the National Guard deployed like it was in Los Angeles. That's a violation of the Posse Comitatus Act, passed more than a century ago to prevent the military from policing U.S. citizens. But despite those powerful words, it's unclear how far and wide this ruling will have an effect.
Yeah, if Trump goes forward with this, you said the ruling was you can't, but he did and continues to. So how do you get around it?
Well, we've seen a little bit of that this year, haven't we? Where we've seen, these courts or the judges make a ruling in the Trump administration either to challenge it, appeal it, or try to circumvent it. And the administration, in a filing just a few minutes ago, indicated it will appeal that ruling and move it up to the Circuit Court of Appeals and continue the legal battle, which seems destined for the U.S. Supreme Court.
So we have this potential of a National Guard deployment to streets of Chicago. Any indication, are these Illinois troops? Would these be troops from other states? And what kind of precedent would that set?
It's going to be a federal deployment of National Guard troops, likely from but also in Illinois. When we saw it in Los Angeles, it was members of the California National Guard or California-based members of the National Guard deployed there. In Washington, D.C., where the president has more authority, you've seen those other states contribute their Guard troops unsolicited from Republican governors, West Virginia, South Carolina, Tennessee, Louisiana, Ohio. Unclear if other states would offer this to Illinois, but the governor would have some say as to who comes to help his Guard, even if the Guard's being deployed against his wishes.
Could this clash between Trump and Democratic governors and mayors rally Trump's base or risk alienating moderates?
I'm wondering at this point, Amanda, if this doesn't serve everybody politically, if everybody isn't winning in their own way. The president and his supporters believe they're winning because they are being perceived as being tough on crime by their base supporters and by those who are outside these cities. These mayors and governors defying Trump seem to be rallying their bases in opposition, winning politically. And the mayor of D.C. has gotten new attention and galvanized some of her supporters as she tries to push back. And if you're a Democrat running for a congressional seat outside of these areas, you don't want to be talking about these controversies to begin with. You want to be focused on the parochial and what's happening in your community, in your town. Doesn't seem to be a lot of political losers here, and that's why this fight may go on for a while.
And, of course, there were these headlines of all the shootings in Chicago over the weekend. Does the Democratic Party, does the Democratic governor and mayor, do they risk being perceived as soft on crime if they don't accept the help?
That's certainly a risk, but at this point, the way they are carrying this political message and the way that they're pushing back, Charlie, it indicates that they want that their constituents don't find federal intervention popular. In Washington, D.C., where we've been hearing for years about concerns about the crime problems, this federal intervention polls terribly amid the local citizenry. So, yes, they want crime to be tackled more aggressively, but they want more local police, people from their community, who know their neighborhoods, versus outsiders coming in or those not trained on law enforcement de-escalation, like troops coming in.
We'll see what happens, Scott. We always appreciate your time. Thank you. CBS News correspondent Scott McFarland.
For your KIRO News Radio forecast, partly cloudy skies with highs in the low 80s. Right now, it's about 60 in downtown Seattle. Coming up, CBS's Nicole Killian breaks down the latest on the Epstein files. I'm Katrina Gashard. You're listening to KIRO News Radio.
Goodbye, baseball. Home runs in 3 consecutive games. Cal Raleigh, the big dumper.
The Mariners' postseason push is on, and there's a whole new way to be part of the action. Introducing the Home Stretch Flex Plan, a $500 membership that gives you the freedom to choose your games and seats for the rest of the season, all while saving 5% on tickets and no fees.
Strike 3 call.
You can use your credit however you want. Go big with club seats for a couple high-stakes showdowns, or stretch it out into the final series against the Dodgers. And the best part, Homestretch Flex members get priority access to our postseason presale. That means you're first in line when October comes calling. The team is locked in. And now it's time to bring the energy down the stretch. Come on board today at mariners.com/homestretch. Mariners baseball. Try dance up.
Summer is fast approaching, and it's a great time to get ready for the busy season with help from WaFd Bank.
Remember, Dave, you can get ahead of the game with WaFd Bank and implement services like payment processing so customers can buy through kiosk, mobile, online, contactless, whatever option they want to pay.
And Brad, I've heard that WaFd Bank has the equipment to make tracking transactions and getting paid easier than ever, right?
Right. With industry-leading security and personalized help from dedicated IT support, you can get peace of mind and get back to helping customers. You can also find a variety of business accounts at WaFd to fit your specific needs and a suite of other services to take things to the next level. We have the knowledge, experience, and offerings to make your business goals a reality.
Thanks, Brad. And you can learn more by visiting wafdbank.com or just drop in at your local branch. I think you'll discover why they've been awarded Best Bank by multiple companies many years in a row. WaFd Bank, built for business. Member FDIC.
A serial killer on the prowl for teen girls in the Pacific Northwest. At least 2 escaped.
She literally crawled out of her grave. Just a miracle that she survived.
Hear their stories. Follow Stolen Voices of Dole Valley now.
Do you worry about how much someone drinks?
Do you feel angry or depressed most of the time? Do you feel neglected or unloved?
Do you feel you attract people who tend to be compulsive or abusive?
Do you have money problems because of someone else's drinking?
Are you afraid or embarrassed to bring your friends home?
Do you feel that if the drinker loved you, she or he would stop drinking?
If you answered yes to any of these questions, you are not alone.
More than half of all adults have a family history of alcoholism.
Not everyone trapped by alcohol is an alcoholic.
Families and friends are suffering too. Al-Anon and Alateen can help. Call 1-866-200-0223 or visit alanon.org/help.
G and Ursula on KIRO News Radio.
You're not going to be able to stop what's going to happen.
I hope he's successful.
9 to noon, streaming live on your smart speaker.
The absolute best savings on a hot tub aren't at the fair. They're at Olympic Hot Tub. Get a truly untoppable deal. Purchase a saltwater hot spring spa and get a Lux Smart Top hardcover free. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you. Better life.
Summer can be the best time of the year, but if it's not feeling good in your house, if it's turning into an oven, some of the problems might be because you don't have enough insulation in your crawl space or attic. In fact, many homes in our region have damaged insulation or even none at all. Yeah, it's Mike Salk here, and you got to get somebody to check on it. That's why you call Crawl Pros. They'll come out and do a full corner-to-corner inspection of your crawl space and attic. And if it turns out that you've got a problem with your insulation, and maybe that's leading to bigger energy bills, guess what? Local utility companies have special incentives to help with the cost of getting your house properly insulated. In fact, if you're a PSC customer and your home was built before 1990, you could qualify to receive a rebate on up to 95% of the cost to get your attic properly insulated. Yep, 95%. Call Crawl Pros if you're worried about critters, mold, water damage, insulation issues, or anything else related to your crawl space or attic. Schedule a free corner-to-corner inspection at crawlpros.com.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Most roofers around here give you one option. 2 if you're lucky. Asphalt shingles and maybe metal. That's like going to a restaurant and the only thing on the menu is salad. Sure, there are a few kinds, but they're all pretty much the same, and none of them will keep you satisfied for long. I'm Jim Singletary, Chief Roof Nerd at RoofSmart, and we serve up real choices. Yeah, we do asphalt shingles, sure, but what about something more substantial, like EuroShield rubber tiles that last a lifetime? Or a beautiful, durable metal roof that can handle Seattle's weather like a champ. We even install cedar shake, stone, copper, and walkable rooftop decks. Most roofers stick to what's easy. At RoofSmart, we offer what's best for you. Now, those are what we call options. For anything is possible roofing, call RoofSmart at 206-487-4877 or visit GetRoofSmart.com today. That's 206-487-4877 or online at GetRoofSmart.com.
If you want thick, healthy, gorgeous hair, then you need Hair Volume from New Nordic. Available online at Amazon and NewNordicUSA.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Good morning. I'm Katrina Gashard. The debate over vaccines is escalating as Florida moves to end all vaccine mandates. This comes as Secretary of Health and Human Services and longtime vaccine skeptic Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is set to testify before the Senate Finance Committee this morning. CBS's Jared Hill has more.
At the heart of the turmoil, vaccine policy. Last week, the FDA limited new COVID-19 shots to people over 65 or with certain pre-existing conditions. Wednesday, Democratic governors of California, Oregon, and Washington state announced a health alliance to preserve vaccine access. But in Florida, the state's Surgeon General announced efforts to eliminate all vaccine mandates.
Critics of the move call the decision reckless and dangerous. And RFK Jr. is expected to be grilled by lawmakers, including Washington State Senator Maria Cantwell, over growing calls for his dismissal amid the removal of a top CDC official. After 13 years of federal oversight, total control of the Seattle Police Department has been returned to the city. KIRO News Radio's James Lynch has more.
In 2012, the United States DOJ and the city of Seattle entered into the consent decree to address findings that SPD engaged in a pattern or practice of unnecessary excessive force in violation of the Fourth Amendment to the United States Constitution. Most of the consent decree's requirements were lifted in 2023. Today marks the termination of the consent decree and the final dismissal of the lawsuit. In Seattle, James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
The head of Seattle's police union says it's about time federal oversight of the SPD has ended. SPOG President Mike Solon tells the Jason Ranch Show on Seattle Red 770 AM.
We've climbed over the mountain, so to speak, and we're ready to, get back to, I think, trying to recruit people to be police officers here because we've lost half of the agency in 10 years. A lot of that over the time frame of the consent decree process.
Seattle entered the consent decree in 2012 after the Justice Department found a pattern of unnecessary use of force. A federal judge ruled that hard work was done at all levels, making the department a model for reform. And customs officers at SeaTac Airport just stopped a shipment of fake Labubus. More than 11,000 counterfeit dolls were seized just last week. They were hidden in boxes labeled LED bulb from South Korea. U.S. Customs and Border Protection says the haul is worth more than $500,000. The Seattle Times reports no arrests yet, but the dolls will be destroyed. Labubus are viral toys from China. They're fuzzy, they've got big eyes and creepy grins, and they sparked a booming counterfeit market. Now to your KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. Tacoma to Seattle about 30, Puyallup to Renton 26, Redmond to Seattle 31, Everett to Bellevue about 30 right now. And for your KIRO News Radio forecast, we're starting off with some clouds today, but we'll heat up to highs in the low 80s. Right now, it's about 60 in downtown Seattle. I'm Katrina Gashard. You're listening to KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO Newsradio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News. Seattle's morning news. Hear it live, stream it online, watch the show, or catch the podcast anytime. Seattle's morning news, wherever you are.
Files related to the sex trafficking investigations into Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell have been released, and there are moves by some members of Congress to reveal even more information.
Nicole Killian from CBS News is following the story. She joins us live. Bring us up to speed, Nicole. What are the developments over the past 24 hours or so?
So the House Oversight Committee released more than 33,000 pages of the Epstein files. Keep in mind, this is just a small portion of what exists, and the committee had issued a subpoena to the Justice Department to start turning over these files. So this is like an initial tranche, if you will, that was turned over to the committee this summer. So the committee is now making those documents public, posting them online, although many Democrats on the committee say there's really not much new here. And quite frankly, a CBS News review did show that much of this information was already out there and public. A couple of interesting nuggets, though, in addition to documents, this data dump also included video, including previously unseen surveillance video outside of Jeffrey Epstein's jail cell on the night that he died. It also included some additional court documents as well as flight logs for Jeffrey Epstein.
And do those those documents tell us anything?
Well, again, a lot of this information was kind of already out in the public domain. However, this does at least try to quell some of the calls to make this information public. Keep in mind that the House Oversight Committee is in the midst of an investigation right now into all of this. They have deposed a number of officials. For instance, later this month, they're going to hear from one of the former prosecutors who was alleged to have given Jeffrey Epstein a sweetheart deal back in 2008. They also heard from survivors of Jeffrey Epstein's alleged sex trafficking ring. So the committee is trying to do its due diligence here, but obviously there's a huge clamoring here on Capitol Hill for all of these files to be made public. So we do have some lawmakers who have been pushing for a vote to compel the Justice Department to release more of these files, but Republicans on the House Oversight Committee argue, hey, we're already doing a lot of this work. Give us some time.
And let's just maybe talk about those battle lines, because it does sound like some Republicans are joining forces with Democrats in this. Is this not something that we are expecting? Are we expecting this to be purely partisan, or is there a chance this does become a bipartisan issue?
Well, there is a bipartisan effort underway. There is a resolution, or what we call here on Capitol Hill, a discharge petition, which is basically an attempt to kind of circumvent the normal process for trying to get legislation passed. So in essence, this would force a vote on the House floor to compel the release of the Epstein files. That is a measure that was put together by Kentucky Republican Tom Massey and California Democrat, Ro Khanna.
And Nicole, thanks for the update this morning. We appreciate it.
Coming up, we'll have national headlines. You're listening to KIRO News Radio.
Man wide open, touchdown Seahawks!
Celebrating 50 years of Seahawks football with the voice of the Seahawks, Steve Rabel.
Number 71, Walter Jones, left tackle. The anchor to the left side of the offensive line for the Seahawks that went to the Super Bowl. One of the best players in franchise history.
Since the beginning, KIRO is where Seattle and the Pacific Northwest have heard the Seahawks play. Here's to the next 50 years.
Hey, it's John Curley with Dr. Kopstein from K2 Vision RLE. Doc, I heard that 50% of Americans have their lenses replaced by the time they're 75.
That's exactly right, John. As we near 50, our eye's natural lens starts to become dysfunctional. If you've now added readers to your need for glasses and contacts, it's a sign the quality and function of your natural lens is fading, and it's a steady decline towards cataracts.
Don't go another 20-plus years with poor vision, hassling with contacts and readers. Do what I did. Choose a quick, painless refractive lens exchange from K2 Vision RLE and start enjoying great vision now.
Our new lens technology is truly amazing. After replacing over 100,000 lenses, we have the experience to guide each patient to their best solution, even if that's recommending you wait a little while before RLE.
K2 Vision RLE can restore distance and near vision permanently, plus never develop a cataract. Read the reviews and schedule a free Zoom consultation now at k2visionrle.com.
At the Boy Scouts of America, our oath remains: a scout pledges to be kind, helpful, and brave. We're committed to providing a safe and welcoming environment where scouts can establish the foundations of character that will last a lifetime. Our approach ensures the Boy Scouts of America is building the youth of today into the leaders we'll turn to tomorrow. The Boy Scouts of America. Building character is in our nature. Visit scouting.org to learn more about Scouting.
It started as a puddle.
Where?
In the shower.
Uh-oh.
Then the kitchen sink.
Started backing up?
Yeah.
I know where this is going.
Clogged up.
Right. No problem.
Beg your pardon?
There's no clog we can't clear.
You're Dan.
From Apollo Plumbing.
This is going to get pricey.
How about $83?
To clear my drain?
Apollo Plumbing clears main drains every day.
For $83?
$83 or it's free.
What's the catch?
No catch. We'll even do a camera inspection.
Why's that?
It's the best way to find the cause of your clog.
And it's included?
No extra charge. Truth is, we hate clogs.
I don't love them.
Seen them all.
Ew.
I promise. There's no clog Apollo can't clear.
Guaranteed.
83 or free.
Goodbye, slow drains.
All it takes is an accessible clean out.
And Apollo gets my drains draining again.
You call, we come, it's fixed.
My heroes.
Just doing our job.
Thank you, Apollo Plumbing.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
To protect her home and family in a disaster, Karen was willing to wade through water, mud, and insurance paperwork.
Yeah, I can do this.
You go, Karen! By simply understanding and updating what her insurance covers and doesn't cover now, she'll be better prepared no matter when disaster strikes. Learn other simple ways to protect your home and family before a natural disaster at ready.gov. That's ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
Summer is fast approaching, and it's a great time to get ready for the busy season with help from WaFd Bank.
That's right, Dave. And WaFd Bank offers Collect Early to do it, which opens cash flow for things you need, like hiring summer staff or adding inventory. Collect Early helps you get your invoices paid in hours, not weeks. You'll also get access to other services to efficiently run your business, like projection programs for income and expenses, so you can focus on what really powers your business, your customers.
That sounds like a pretty helpful tool, Brad, because cash flow can be an issue for small businesses. So how does that work again?
With Collect Early, you don't wait weeks to get your invoices paid. It works with just about any invoicing software. So all you need to do is drag and drop to get funds deposited in your WaFd account and use it to help run your business.
Getting paid in hours, not weeks, the way nature intended. Go to wafdbank.com or visit your local branch. Discover why they were awarded Best Bank 3 years in a row. WaFd Bank, built for business. Member FDIC.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
GOAT, G-O-A-T, acronym, stands for Greatest of All Time. As in, spaghetti sandwiches for dinner? They're my fave. Dad, you're the GOAT.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
CBS News Brief. Florida is in the process of making it the first state to eliminate vaccine mandates, including for school kids. Florida Surgeon General Dr. Joseph Ladapo sees vaccine mandates this way.
Every last one of them is wrong and drips with disdain and slavery.
HHS Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s views on vaccines are causing a reaction in some other states, too, as CBS's Torian Small reports.
Kennedy's vaccine skepticism is causing some states to take vaccine matters into their own hands. The Democratic governors of states like Oregon, Washington, and California are coming together to form a public health forum to preserve access to vaccines.
Correspondent Jonathan DeVigliati is at the scene of Northern California's biggest wildfire in Tuolumne County.
Numerous homes and buildings have been damaged or destroyed, including treasured landmarks. Residents were ordered to evacuate.
Lightning ignited the fire in dry conditions. CBS News Brief, I'm Michael Toscano.
For your KIRO News Radio forecast, partly cloudy skies with highs in the low 80s. Right now, it's about 60 in downtown Seattle. And coming up, the composer for the popular Hulu series Only Murders in the Building gives a behind-the-scenes look to see how he shaped the show's signature sound. I'm Katrina Gashard. You're listening to KIRO News Radio.
Some things can steal your sunshine. Ugh, I just got my hair done.
Sorry, the cooler's broken. Anyone see my flip-flops? Anyone?
But COVID-19 can steal a lot more.
I just took a COVID test. Ugh.
Prescription medications for COVID exist. If you test positive this summer, ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com/COVID-19 to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
Mariners fans, it's time to bring the noise to T-Mobile Park. This lineup is loaded up and locked in. From every moonshot.
Now Raleigh obliterates this. How far? Way back there.
To every how in the world did he catch that moment?
And Julio makes the catch. No fly zone in full effect.
Be here as the squad shuts the door and lights the W.
Munoz looking for the final out. Here's the stretch, and the strike three called, and the ball game is over.
This is our house.
They're going crazy here at T-Mobile Park.
Mariners baseball. Try dance up.
Be here for the stretch run at T-Mobile Park. The Mariners are back next week for a 7-game homestand, including a 3-day Logan Gilbert Funko Pop giveaway Monday to Wednesday against the Cardinals. Plus, all 3 games are Mariners value games, which means you can score seats for as little as $11. Get your tickets today at Mariners.com.
The composer for the series Only Murders in the Buildings gives a behind-the-scenes look to see how he shaped the show's signature sound. CBS's Anthony Mason has the full story.
There's like the basic theme for Only Murders, right? If I were to play it here, like on a flute.
When Siddhartha Khosla was working on the music last season for Only Murders in the Building, he faced a big challenge. Writing a love theme for Oliver and Loretta.
That's without any music.
Yes. Played by Martin Short and Meryl Streep.
I had written this theme that was like, la dee dee da 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 da. It was like Love is in the Air. Now this is like Marty has found love. Meryl has found love. Their characters, have found love.
Yes.
So this was my favorite piece to do last season.
Khosla has been making music since he was a child.
It was born out of our family story.
His parents immigrated to America in 1976.
My mom was pregnant with me on her flight from India to the U.S.
Wow.
And they came to this country with $8. They were both in school in New Haven, working jobs at night. My dad was shelving books in the Yale Law Library. My mom was in the med school there doing her residency.
As his parents worked to make it here, Sid was sent back to India for 2 years to be raised by his grandparents. He and his mom mailed audio cassettes to each other.
My mom would sing me old Hindi lullabies.
Yeah.
That sound stayed with me. I mean, there was these old Hindi songs like, "Ae mere pyare watan, ae mere bichhde chaman." That feeling is like something that I've always brought into my music. And sometimes when I'm writing music, I write it like it's an old Hindi song. Like on Only Murders.
Yeah.
Da, 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 da.
He showed us how the theme sounds on the harmonium.
You could make it very Indian and go la da 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 da.
The instrument he grew up playing.
Today is Friday, it is my day to do what I want.
Khosla first tried to make his mark in music with an indie rock band. Gold Spot had a promising start. A self-released record earned them critical success. In 2007, they made their major label debut.
And it bombed.
How were you feeling in that moment?
Crushed.
Yeah.
You know, it was like my dream was to be singer in a rock band.
One of his early fans had been his college roommate, Dan Fogelman.
Dan was one of those people there'd be like 5 people that would come to a show, and he was one of those 5.
Fogelman, who'd gone on to produce and write screenplays for films like Cars and Crazy Stupid Love, called Khosla and asked him to write the music for his new TV series, The Neighbors.
And I turned him down flat. Yeah, I just said to him, I was like, I don't know how to do this. Yeah. You know, I write songs. And it was an orchestral score. And I had not studied orchestra. Yeah. I can't even read music. Really? To this day. Wow.
But Fogelman persisted.
So it took Dan believing in me in a way that I don't think anyone else could have in that moment in my life except for him.
It was the beginning of a beautiful partnership that's continued with the series This Is Us, Paradise, and Only Murders in the Building.
We will not be going quietly.
So some of the very first things I wrote were these, like, the elevator theme.
The killer. We're texting with the killer!
Khosla sent a playlist of his ideas for Only Murders to co-creator John Hoffman.
What became the main theme, that melody, the da-da-da-da-da, I put that at the very bottom. It was the final track, because it was my least favorite. It was your least favorite? My least favorite. But John listened to all of it. He goes, what's that? That makes me feel all the things I want to feel in this show. It makes me feel the heart, the mystery, the comedy.
The boiler room of the Iconia. The irritable bowel of the building.
The music doesn't need to make you laugh. Steve, Marty, and Selena make you laugh.
Oh my God!
Oh my God!
Oh my God!
3 disparate souls looking for connection. And so for me, I thought it would be interesting if we made the music centered around that loneliness.
Want to make a podcast with me?
But it's also a show about 3 people trying to solve a murder.
This is every time you see a dead body at the end of every season, this motif comes in.
Lester! Call 911!
So oftentimes my vocal is in there as well. This is all me. Just losing my mind as I'm writing it. It sounds terrible, but we keep it in the recording.
Oh my God, no!
For last season's climactic moment, an opera singer's voice was layered over Khosla's vocal.
Yeah, it sounds ridiculous. That's fabulous. But it adds to the unhinged chaos. My band never reached the level of success we hoped it would reach back in the day. But now I feel like I've found whatever that thing is working with Dan. You and Dan are in a band, kind of. Dan, yeah, we're in a band. There's no question.
You can now have a chance to own a piece of Star Wars history. CBS's Jennifer Kuiper explains.
Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader battle it out with an epic lightsaber fight. That duel, of course, ended with a well-known line.
I am your father.
And now the lightsaber wielded by Darth Vader in The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi goes up for sale at the Prop Store annual film and TV memorabilia auction in Los Angeles. It's expected to fetch somewhere between $1 million and $3 million.
It is useless to resist.
Jennifer Kuiper, CBS News.
And for your KIRO Newsradio forecast, we are starting off a little cloudy, but this afternoon, a little more sunshine and highs in the low 80s. Right now, it's about 60 in downtown Seattle. Coming up next, Seattle's Morning News with your host, Charlie Harger and Manda Factor. I'm Katrina Gashard. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio.
Man wide open, touchdown Seahawks!
Celebrating 50 years of Seahawks football with the voice of the Seahawks, Steve Rabel.
Number 71, Walter Jones, left tackle. The anchor to the left side of the offensive line for the Seahawks that went to the Super Bowl. One of the best players in franchise history.
Since the beginning, KIRO is where Seattle and the Pacific Northwest have heard the Seahawks play. Here's to the next 50 years.
KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
Years of commercial fishing are not easy on the human body. Just ask Anthony.
pulling a lot of fish. It's a very repetitive task.
And the consequences were pretty painful.
I have torn rotator cuffs in both shoulders,
which made it just about impossible to do his job.
Fortunately, I'm the captain, so when my shoulders got to a point where I couldn't work the deck, I had others to do that.
But he knew that was no way to run a ship. So he went to Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, who suggested stem cell therapy. And before long, all hands were back on deck.
After about 30 days, my shoulders are allowing me to do my job without pain. Both shoulders are getting stronger every day. That's a good thing.
So you'd recommend stem cell therapy to others, huh?
I definitely would. I absolutely am very happy with the results.
Whether it's a shoulder, hip, or knee, before choosing surgery, consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. Schedule your consultation at drmarkwagnermd.com.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. I came out in the 11th grade. Nobody was embracing you. The kids were cruel. It was very difficult to be gay. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma. The hard part was determining that I was going to do it, but I definitely didn't do it alone.
At age 30, with the help of her mentor, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
I have a mentor, Maria. She convinced me to continue my education and to finish what I started to get my diploma. Just never judges. She's a true role model. If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, go get it. You can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Save up to 20% during the Bob's Heating preseason furnace sale. With great deals on heating and cooling, backup generators, ductless heat pumps, and more, now is the best time to buy. Plus, with 12-month interest-free financing, investing in your home comfort has never been easier or more affordable. Trust the team at Bob's Heating to keep your home warm and cozy during the chilly season. Your family's comfort is our family business.
Bob's Heating and Air Conditioning. Call Bob.
Upgrade your home comfort and save 20% during the Bob's Heating preseason furnace sale. With great savings plus free financing on heat pumps, water heaters, generators, and more, our award-winning team has what you need to stay cozy this chilly season at a cost you're comfortable with. Voted best in the Pacific Northwest, we're honored to be your dedicated home comfort company since 1957. Call Bob's and save today.
Bob's Heating and Air Conditioning. Call Bob.
Download the KIRO Newsradio app, where you can watch us live or stream us live anywhere, anytime.
How would this initiative, whatever this initiative is, how would he fund it?
Stay connected everywhere. Download the KIRO Newsradio app.
Summer can be the best time of the year, but if it's not feeling good in your house, if it's turning into an oven, some of the problems might be because you don't have enough insulation in your crawl space or attic. In fact, many homes in our region have damaged insulation or even none at all. Yeah, it's Mike Salk here, and you got to get somebody to check on it. That's why you call Crawl Pros. They'll come out and do a full corner-to-corner inspection of your crawl space and attic. And if it turns out that you've got a problem with your insulation, and maybe that's leading to bigger energy bills, guess what? Local utility companies have special incentives to help with the cost of getting your house properly insulated. In fact, if you're a PSC customer and your home was built before 1990, you could qualify to receive a rebate on up to 95% of the cost to get your attic properly insulated. Yep, 95%. Call Crawl Pros if you're worried about critters, mold, water damage, insulation issues, or anything else related to your crawl space or attic. Schedule a free corner-to-corner inspection at crawlpros.com.
At the Boy Scouts of America, our oath remains. A Scout pledges to be kind, helpful, and brave. We're committed to providing a safe and welcoming environment where Scouts can establish the foundations of character that will last a lifetime. Our approach ensures the Boy Scouts of America is building the youth of today into the leaders we'll turn to tomorrow. The Boy Scouts of America. Building character is in our nature. Visit scouting.org to learn more about Scouting.
Help create a future with no more drunk driving victims. Join Molly Shen and the Davis Law Group for Move with MAD, September 13th at Red Square. Central Plaza on the UW campus. Move with MAD raises awareness and funds to help end drunk driving and prevent underage drinking. Every step taken and every dollar raised can help keep our families and communities safe. Sign up to walk or join the team at madwashington.com. Move with MAD, September 13th on the UW campus. Register today.
Celebrate 31 seasons of world-class jazz with the Seattle Repertory Jazz Orchestra at Dimitro's Jazz Alley. 4 nights of hard-swinging big band favorites with guest vocalist Jacqueline Tabor. This Thursday through Sunday. Tickets at jazzalley.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is expected to face a barrage of questions over vaccine mandates, his leadership at the CDC, and employee turnover there when he testifies at a Senate committee hearing next hour. Correspondent Weijia Jiang is in Washington.
Senators from both parties are expected to grill Secretary Kennedy about the ongoing controversy. Just yesterday, more than 1,000 former and current HHS staffers signed a letter to Kennedy and members of Congress demanding his resignation. They warned Secretary Kennedy's actions are compromising the health of this nation and called on President Trump and lawmakers to replace him.
There's growing controversy over a plan by Florida Surgeon General to get rid of state vaccine mandates for kids. He says it should be up to mothers and fathers to decide. Parents at Palmetto Middle School are mixed.
Being into healthcare, I really strongly disagree that they should not, take that away from the state as a whole.
Because they need their shot, they need their vaccine in order to get an education, and I think that's wrong.
Crews in Central California are waging a grueling battle to tamp down the flames of explosive wildfires that have forced hundreds of people from their homes. Correspondent Jonathan Vigliotti reports from Tuolumne County.
The massive lightning-fueled fire southeast of Sacramento ravaged the historic Gold Rush-era town known as Chinese Camp, named for the immigrant miners who settled here. Hundreds of firefighters are battling the inferno caused by thousands of lightning strikes recorded across the region.
The fires are about 15% contained. New data from the CDC suggest Americans aren't eating enough fish. CBS's Michael George.
Dietary guidelines suggest we should eat 2 servings of seafood a week for nutrients like protein, omega-3 fatty acids, calcium, and vitamin D. But the CDC found only 7% of children eat 2 servings of seafood a week, and only about a quarter of adults do. Families with higher incomes tended to consume more seafood.
Did you hope you'd get lucky? Sorry to break it to you. There was another no winner for Powerball.
This is Powerball. Good evening, America.
Last night's drawing was for $1.4 billion. Saturday's jackpot will be an estimated $1.7 billion, which would be the 3rd largest in U.S. lottery history. The biggest was a $2.04 billion Powerball payout in November of 2022. As always, the odds of winning are 1 in 292 million.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
Yeah! We'll see you back here Saturday night.
Michael Wallace, everyone. CBS News.
Dow futures are down 10. NAS futures up 28. This is CBS News.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. We offer auto, home, and commercial auto insurance, plus a variety of business insurance options. Visit Progressive.com today.
6:03 on a Thursday morning. We check in with Ted Beener filling in for Sully at the traffic desk.
Thank you, Charlie. This traffic report is brought to you by Lake Washington Windows and Doors. The good news is there are no blocking issues at this moment. In the north end, traffic is moving well. Coming in from the south end, we got some brake lights on eastbound 512 through Puyallup, as well as northbound 167 from Sumner to Pacific, around State Route 18, and again approaching 405. And we got some slowing through the Renton curves on northbound 405 and northbound I-5. It's got some slowing from about 320th into Midway. Drive times, they're all pretty good. Auburn to Renton is about 15 minutes. Renton to Bellevue is 16 minutes. Federal Way to Seattle is just over a half hour. 20 minutes of those are from South Center. And coming in from Snohomish County, both Seattle, Everett to Seattle or Bellevue are just under a half hour. The Narrows and Lake Bridges are doing well. Lake Washington Windows Autumn Savings Event is on now. Save $500 per window, $1,000 per door, plus 12 months, same as cash financing. Details at lakewashingtonwindows.com. I'm Ted Biener with KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic.
Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Good morning. It's 6:04. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is on the hot seat this morning at the U.S. Capitol. That's where the embattled Health and Human Services Secretary faces a grilling from Washington's own Senator Maria Cantwell.
CBS News mentioned this briefly. Let's get more details now live from KIRO News Radio's Corwin Hake.
Good morning, and these are troubled times for RFK Jr. Let's face it, his critics are upset. Just a week ago, he forced Senators for Disease Control Director Susan Menares out of office, and as a consequence, 3 other top CDC officials resigned in protest. Yesterday, you heard about this. More than 1,000 current and former HHS employees signed an open letter calling for Kennedy to resign or be fired. And that brings us to Washington's Cantwell. This morning, she'll be grilling RFK over the HHS proposed 2026 budget. Now, Cantwell and Kennedy clashed back in January. This was during his Senate confirmation, where the veteran Democrat challenged him over the wisdom of his cuts to public health.
But the most striking example of this is when COVID hit. And we were the first in the nation. We had the first case, and it really was the fast response by the University of Washington that really helped save lives. So I just want to know that, are you aware of how harmful these issues could be for public health?
And Kennedy defended at the time his proposed cuts.
600 people out of a workforce of 91,000 is pretty typical. Last year alone, President Biden replaced 3,000 people at HHS and 700 at NIH.
NIH, of course, National Institutes of Health. Well, that was January. Today's hearing nominally is about the HHS budget, but you can bet Cantwell and other Democrats will seize this opportunity to interrogate RFK over the open revolt within his own agency.
All right. Corwin, thank you. Welcome aboard.
My pleasure.
It's 6:06. After 13 years of federal oversight, total control of the Seattle Police Department has been returned to the city.
We get the update this morning from KIRO News Radio's James Lynch.
It was back in 2012 that the DOJ and the city of Seattle entered into a consent decree to address findings that SPD engaged in a pattern or practice of unnecessary or excessive force. Mayor Harrell says the culture of the department has changed.
When you look at the use of force, 2012, 1 out of 5 incidents involving the police, there was unreasonable force. Now, less than 1%.
Harrell says officers now know there are expectations and there will be consequences. In Seattle, James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
A Thurston County commissioner is introducing a local ordinance that would keep federal immigration agents out of areas where firefighters are battling wildfires. This is after Border Patrol arrested 2 firefighters and forced 42 other contract firefighters to leave the Bear Gulch wildfire.
I've been in the fire service for almost 30 years, and this is not business as usual.
Commissioner Wayne Fournier's proposal would designate emergency operations as non-interference zones. If federal officers need to contact fire responders, the feds would have to coordinate with local incident commanders and guarantee due process. The county's legal team is reviewing the ordinance. The Bear Gulch wildfire now burning on more than 9,400 acres and is 10% contained. 200 firefighters are on the scene.
Keeping you informed since 1974.
This is the city's longest-running radio news show.
Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
How cool is that to have Corwin here?
Very, very cool. We worked together for many years at another place.
Yeah, Corwin, longtime Seattle radio reporter.
One of the best reporters out there. I'm so thrilled that he's here.
And of course, if you're a longtime KIRO listener, he's the brother of Tim Hake.
Yes.
So fantastic to
All
have
in the family.
Corwin filling in this next couple of weeks while our Luke is off on an adventure.
Yes, he is.
Okay. This is Seattle's Morning News. It is Thursday, September 4th. I'm Charlie. That's Manda. Ted Biener filling in for Sully, who's still on the illness list. Thanks for being here, Ted.
You betcha. Thank you for having me here.
Yeah. Jonah Oakleaf is in for David Burbank as he recuperates as well. We have Katrina out at the news desk. Nick Krasia is in the control room running the board.
This hour of Seattle's Morning News is sponsored by American Crawl Space and Pest Control.
Coming up on this hour of the show, we hear from a longtime social media wellness influencer and talk about the perks and pressures of turning healthy living into a full-time career.
Also, Seattle recently hosted PAX West Gaming Festival, and in this hour's Tech Talk, how Latino video game developers are facing real-world barriers beyond the screen.
It's 6:09 now. Dinsmore Auto Group owner Ken Dinsmore says repeated thefts at his Federal Way dealership are forcing tough decisions. He tells Jason Rancho on Seattle Red 770 AM, 18 catalytic converters were stolen in one night.
We did an inventory, basically getting on the ground, looking underneath all of our commercial vehicles, and we found 9 vehicles had been hit this particular time.
That's $100,000 loss. The place has been hit 10 times, so now they will leave the converters off the vehicles and then install them once somebody buys them.
An undercover operation led Seattle police to a drug bust at an auto body shop in the Chinatown International District. Captain Mike Strand says they've been keeping watch on the business at 8th and Jackson for 2 months.
The 2 primary suspects are dealing narcotics and will face charges for that. And then many of the employees inside were also involved in this activity.
Strand says detectives saw people lining up every morning to buy drugs at the shop. Police confirmed they seized narcotics at the site yesterday morning. It's not clear yet how much or what kind of drugs they found.
The FBI confirms bones recovered last week during the latest search for Travis Decker are not human.
The analysis of those bones was conducted at a lab at Central Washington University. Search teams spent 2 days combing the area near Leavenworth, where Decker is accused of killing his 3 daughters at a campsite.
We understand that the girls would not want us to give up.
Chelan County Sheriff Mike Morrison says he spoke with their mother last week.
I get her frustration. Of course, she wants the kind of closure where we can locate Travis and bring him to justice.
It's not known if he's dead or alive. Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
It's 6:11. The Mariners just wrapped up a trip to Tampa.
Yeah.
They lost again last night, 9-4.
Yep.
In case you missed it, this is how the game started.
Adrian Hauser has just tied a Major League record. 3 pitches, 3 outs, and that's it for the Mariners for the top of the first inning.
Yes, he did say 3 pitches, 3 outs in the first inning.
3 pitches.
That was Rick Riz on our sister station, 710 Seattle Sports. Well, that completes a 3-game sweep by the Rays. Mariners starter George Kirby lasted 2 innings. Shortest outing of his career. He gave up 8 runs, 7 earned. The Mariners are now 73-67. They've lost 5 of 6, 14 of their last 20, but we're not panicking.
Oh.
The Mariners take today off and have an opportunity to start a whole new winning streak tomorrow in Atlanta.
Everything's fine.
Totally.
Everything's fine. 6:12 now. Let's get a check on the weather. It's brought to us by State Roofing and Exteriors. Everything's fine with the weather, too, right, Nick?
I feel like you don't believe that.
You keep saying it. It'll become true.
You should see his nose getting longer.
I was going to say, is there one tear coming down the side of his cheek, like from an 80s movie, just one slow tear? Well, everything's okay. How about that? Because what we're noticing is that air quality is mainly in the moderate range. For if you average it out, we're either moderate good or probably then a much smaller percentage in the unhealthy for sensitive group range. And I think you're probably going to stay moderate to unhealthy for sensitive groups today with increasing sunshine. You have a mix of either some low clouds and fog, say around parts of like the Bremerton area north to Port Townsend, Port Angeles, or some high clouds drifting from south to north, and just going to continue to see upper level haze today without a doubt, but also some mixed in at the surface. Nothing anywhere near as bad as what you're getting in like Wenatchee or Ellensburg or Yakima, but you still do have some haze. You'll see sunshine today. We will be, say, in the low to mid 80s, although a little bit warmer in the Cascade foothills, but say about 82, 83 in Seattle with that haze. And then I think tomorrow, low 80s, maybe even slightly better air quality, just still seeing a lot of haze in the upper levels. Into the weekend, I think you're going to find much cooler weather, maybe even a few showers on Saturday. Could see a late day thunderstorm or two that could even drift into early Sunday with temperatures, only in the low 70s for Sunday and then upper 60s and lower 70s next week. And you got a chance for showers off and on. So it's just going to be a much cooler week next week. And that will be better news for air quality as well.
Okay, Nick, thank you. Right now in Seattle, it's cloudy and 61.
And the time is 6:13. We check traffic every 10 minutes on the 3s, and Ted Beener is in for Chris Sullivan.
Thank you. This traffic report is brought to you by D.R. Horton. More cars are joining your Thursday morning commute. We don't have any reported crashes or stalls. Always good news. We do have areas of slowing, though, and they include eastbound 512 through Puyallup, northbound I-5 from just beyond 320th to Midway. Northbound 167 has got some slowing from State Route 18 to Willis, and again approaching 405. Northbound 405 slows as you go through the Renton curves, and coming in from Snohomish County, southbound 405 is starting to feel some crowding as you go through the Canyon Park area, and southbound I-5 has got some brake lights from the Boeing Freeway down to the 405 split. Drive times, Arlington to Everett, 14 minutes. Everett to Seattle, Bellevue, both of those are close to a half hour. Coming in from the south end, Olympia to Tacoma through JBLM, that's currently 37 minutes. Tacoma to Seattle is 55 minutes. Puyallup to Renton, that drive time has risen to 46 minutes, while Renton to Bellevue, that is about 18 minutes. With over 20 Puget Sound communities, D.R. Horton has the right home for you. Learn more at drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder and equal housing opportunity builder. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Ted Beener.
6:15 now. Beyonce fans are buzzing with extra special birthday vibes today. Here's Katrina Gashard.
Beyonce turns 44 today.
This ain't Texas. Ain't no hold 'em.
And it's a special birthday because it falls on her lucky number 4. Today's September 4th, and fans are on high alert for a surprise drop. With her Cowboy Carter tour wrapped in a historic Grammy win under her belt, speculation is now swirling. Will she mark this moment with new music or a bold announcement? We'll have to stay tuned because as she's celebrating, the entire world is watching.
Okay, you'll break right in with any Beyonce news, right?
I'm
Okay,
on it.
okay.
I'm on it.
Thank you, Katrina. It's 6:16.
This is the city's longest-running radio news show. Seattle's morning news on KIRO News Radio.
Did you know more than half of young people today, 57% to be exact, say they want to be influencers? It's not just Gen Z either. In fact, half of all U.S. adults would choose the influencer lifestyle. This is according to a 2023 Morning Consult survey.
Joining us now is Lee Tillman. You may know her as Lee from America on social media. And Lee, you are a person who has been a wellness influencer for such a long time. Tell us how you got into this, and we'll then start going into some of the pitfalls you found.
Yeah, so I started influencing about 12 years ago, and I was really interested in wellness, always have been. And it was just a lifelong passion of mine, food and wellness and yoga. And then as Instagram grew in popularity, I realized that I could start a wellness blog on Instagram because I'd been blogging on other websites before. And I saw other people doing it. And I thought, there's no girl from Connecticut doing it like me. I'll try my way. And it really worked.
It did. I mean, you made hundreds of thousands of dollars with big accounts, right?
Yes, I did.
And so as you go through this, you start being, it's almost a 24/7 lifestyle, right? How did that work for you?
I was in my 20s when I started, and I really don't think I knew what I was getting myself into. I knew that as Instagram continued to develop as an app that you would just, at first, 10 years ago, I was just kind of uploading goofy pictures to what could be, your work portfolio and help you, buy a house with that income. I started spending more and more time on it. And the more time I spent on it, the more likes I would get, the more followers I would get. So, you're getting all this positive feedback, and I didn't really have the balance or perspective to realize that this is not sustainable the way that I was doing it.
If you flip through your social media pages from the outside looking in, you were living a charmed life. At what point did you say, that's not reality. I need to do something different?
Yeah, it's really ironic because I think I gained a lot of followers and notoriety because I was always being authentic and I was always sharing what I felt and truly believed. And I kind of got stuck in this cycle of posting positivity, and because wellness can also be, it's also about mental health. So I was also always posting about mental health, and my mental health was suffering because I felt like I was this leader of hundreds of thousands of people, and I was only 27, 28, and I felt this pressure of always having to be on. And I think that the industry has changed a little bit. There's a little bit more support for influencers, but the comments were just crazy, and I didn't have boundaries. I didn't have a full team, and I was just really overwhelmed. And I realized if my page is all about being honest and authentic, then I need to be honest about how this career is affecting my mental health.
And how was it affecting your mental health? How was it affecting your relationships?
Well, I think the way that I was doing it was totally unsustainable. I was the product, as most influencers are. Oftentimes you see a brand posting on social media and they're selling deodorant or cars. Well, when you're the product, if you take time off, you can't sell a car in your sleep. You have to be on. So if you're not posting and you're not on, you're not really making money. So that part was unsustainable. And I was just growing increasingly anxious every time I opened the app. And I just noticed, if I'm supposed to be posting about mental health and wellness, why do I not feel well? Why is the thing that it's a double-edged sword, I think, and it's important to talk about that it can be a really great tool, social media, for finding information and finding like-minded people, and but it can also go too far, and that's what my book is about.
It did, yes. And I was just about to get to your book. The title is "If You Don't Like This, I Will Die." Did it get that serious?
Yeah, well, so the title is a play on words. It's "If you don't like this, I will die." It means you have to like the Instagram, because in order for me to make a living, I need to have likes. And as a woman in America, I really felt the pressure to be liked. I think a lot of, I certainly felt that pressure. And then I also think that, I was a likable wellness influencer where I was just happy, and people would go to my page and think, wow, what a charmed life. And I was also kind of bending over backwards to gain people's approval. And I never wanted to upset anyone, and I wanted to appeal to everybody. And that can just be a really tiring and unsustainable way of going about it. So I don't think I realized it in the moment, but while stepping back and writing this book, I thought, wow, I really, really wanted to be liked by everybody. And a lot of my behavior stemmed from that.
I'm the parent of teenagers. Amanda has her teenagers. So many of them want to be influencers, and so many people just in general want to be influencers. What do you want them to know, and what do you wish you had known?
First of all, I have no regrets, because I'm so grateful that I had that experience and I could write this book. Because when I stopped influencing, I looked around at the bookstore and there was no book yet about the dark side of influencing and the potential drawbacks. It was all just how to grow 1 million followers. So I just want to be clear that I am so grateful for that experience, because it started conversations like this. The number one thing I would say is that I wish I had more support. I wish that I reached out for support. I kept a lot of it inside. I just thought, there was understanding from outsiders about what the job is really like. And I still think that we have a long way to come before we really realize that this is labor, and this is listen, the reason that it's these influencers are paid so well is because it's a lot of work, and people don't see it. They just see the photo of standing next to their new car or on the beach with their husband. They don't see all the time and little bricks that someone laid over the course of years and years of no days off, of always posting and always being on brand and always trying to say the right thing to get there. So I would just say, keep a good group of people to support you nearby, family, friends, maybe a therapist, because you're going to need that support.
Lee Tillman's book is called "If You Don't Like This, I Will Die." I have one more question for you. Do you use social media at all now?
I do. I after leaving influencing, I stepped away totally, and I took kind of a Luddite approach, and I thought, all social media is bad. And then I realized that that's not necessarily where we're going. The reason I wrote this book is because I don't believe that technology is going anywhere. I think it's here to stay. If anything, it's going to just become a larger part of our lives. So I'm here to say that it doesn't have to be so black and white. There can be a healthy approach to it. But I want this book to be a solace and support for people to know that they're not alone.
Lee Tillman, her book is If You Don't Like This, I Will Die. Thanks for joining us on Seattle's Morning News, Lee.
Thank you for having me.
It's 6:23. That's time for traffic. We do that every 10 minutes, and Ted Biener's in for Chris Sullivan.
All right, this traffic report is brought to you by Home Comfort Alliance. All right, the good news is there are no blocking issues, yet traffic volumes continue to rise. In the north end, seeing a lot of southbound I-5 traffic bunching up from about the 405 split going backwards up into about 128 there in South Everett. Southbound 405 has got some brake lights as you go through the Canyon Park area. Coming in from the south end, eastbound 512 slows down the hill through Puyallup. Northbound 167 has brake tapping from Sumner to Pacific. Again, from State Route 18 to 15th Northwest, and then again from 180th to 405. We also have some slowing through the Redden curves on northbound 405, and northbound I-5 has slowing from 320th to past 200th. And now, again from the Michigan curve into downtown. Drive times, Auburn to Renton, about 20 minutes. Renton to Bellevue is 18 minutes. Federal Way to Seattle, that has grown to 45 minutes. 27 of those are from South Center. From Snohomish County, both Everett to Seattle Bellevue have risen to about 45 minutes. Narrows and lake bridges are doing well, and the Port Townsend Coopville ferry crossings have been canceled this hour thanks to poor visibility in thick fog. Save 50 to 75% by combining tax credits, rebates, and incentives on a new heat pump from Home Comfort Alliance. Visit homecomfortalliance.com. I'm Ted Biener with KIRO News Radio Real-Time Traffic.
Morning clouds will burn off. We're headed for a high of 83 today in Seattle, 82 tomorrow. So you might want to get out and enjoy it because the cool down is on the way. Mid-70s with a chance of showers Saturday and Sunday. Right now, it's cloudy and 61 in Seattle.
Coming up, the latest on the search for Travis Decker and the opening bell report here on Seattle's Morning News.
The Northwest's trusted news source, KIRO News Radio.
Police in Federal Way are investigating what appears to be a car explosion.
KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey is live from the neighborhood.
I can't tell you enough how crazy this scene is here.
Coverage you depend on.
A massive police presence in Kent.
From voices you know and trust.
We have an active fire inside one of these buildings here.
KIRO News Radio on 97.3 FM, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
An illegal alien from Guatemala charged with raping a child in Massachusetts. An MS-13 gang member from El Salvador accused of murdering a Texas man. A Venezuelan charged with filming and selling child pornography in Michigan. These are just some of the heinous migrant criminals caught because of President Donald J. Trump's leadership. I'm Kristi Noem, the United States Secretary of Homeland Security. Under President Trump, attempted illegal border crossings are at the lowest levels ever recorded, and over 100,000 illegal aliens have been arrested. If you are here illegally, you're next. You will be fined nearly $1,000 a day, imprisoned, and deported. You will never return. But if you register using our CBP Home app and leave now, you could be allowed to return legally. Do what's right. Leave now. Under President Trump, America's laws, border, and families will be protected.
Sponsored by the United States Department of Homeland Security.
Are you looking at senior living options for you or a loved one? If so, you likely have many questions like, what can I afford? How long will my savings last? And if I run out of money, will I have to move out? If these questions are weighing on you, I'm here to talk you through different solutions. Hi, I'm Amanda from Care Partners Senior Living. At Care Partners, we're focused on offering high-quality, compassionate care at very affordable prices to help stretch and preserve your assets. And if you ever run out of funds and need to convert to Medicaid, you won't have to move. We have vibrant communities throughout Western Washington, Spokane, and Arizona offering independent, assisted living, and memory care. Our caregivers are some of the most loving and genuine people you'll ever meet. Stretch your assets, preserve your estate, and never worry about moving. That's peace of mind in the Care Partners Living difference. Learn more at carepartnersliving.com. Care Partners is excited to announce our newest communities in Port Orchard, Sumner, Snohomish, and North Creek Bothell. Visit carepartnersliving.com.
One thing you can always count on is a change in the weather. Time to protect your home now with the help from the pros at Integrity Roofing and Construction. With years of experience in roofing and restoration, their skilled team delivers exceptional craftsmanship, whether it's a simple roof repair or a full renovation. Integrity offers free estimates, and their customer satisfaction speaks for itself. Don't wait until the next storm hits. Schedule your free estimate today. Call Integrity at 206-202-ROOF or visit online at integrityrc.com. That's integrityrc.com.
You hear that? That's the sound of your business losing money. Legacy phone systems weren't built for today's teams. OpenPhone gives your business a smarter way to stay connected. OpenPhone lets you manage calls, texts, voicemail, and contacts all in one place so that you and your team can deliver a seamless customer experience from ring to... Need to take calls on the go? OpenPhone automatically transcribes, summarizes, and highlights next steps from every call, so you never miss a detail. Need insight into what closes a sale? With OpenPhone's AI call tags, you can instantly spot key topics like objections or pricing questions, and use those insights to coach your team and level up every customer interaction. And yes, you can bring your existing number with you for free. Keep your team in sync and your customers happy with OpenPhone. OpenPhone. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try OpenPhone for free at openphone.com/free and get 20% off your first 6 months. That's openphone.com/free. openphone.com/FREE.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/radio to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/radio for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
Hey, this is Pete from Home Matters. Tune in this weekend when we'll talk with local business owners about everything in and around your home. Join us on Saturdays from 2 to 3 right here on KIRO Newsradio or listen to the podcast on mynorthwest.com.
Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Good morning. It is 6:31. It's official. Accused killer Travis Decker's whereabouts remain unknown.
The FBI has confirmed recently uncovered bones are not Decker's remains.
We get the latest live this morning from KIRO News Radio's Corwin Hake.
Amanda and Charlie, the FBI Seattle office has now released a statement saying the bones found near Rock Island Campground in the Leavenworth area late last month are animal bones. That dashes law enforcement's hopes that they may have finally solved the mystery of what happened to Travis Decker, the 33-year-old man suspected of murdering his 3 young daughters last June. Chelan County Sheriff Mike Morrison remains undeterred.
We will not relent. We will not give up.
The search for Decker has ranged far and wide across the Pacific Northwest, but these remains were found not far from the campsite where the girls' bodies were first discovered. Sheriff Morrison defended the return to a more local search.
Looking into similar cases, we found that historically and typically that you found the homicide suspect and those responsible within a quarter mile of the scene, either alive and or deceased.
He also compared the case to the Green River Killer case in terms of bodies found in the same general area over a long period of time. Now, the frustrating part of this case for police and survivors both is simply that they have found no trace of Decker, dead or alive, ever since these gruesome killings. Charlie, Manda?
Corwin, thank you. After 13 years of federal oversight, total control of the Seattle Police Department has been returned to the city.
We get the update from KIRO News Radio's James Lynch.
In 2012, the United States DOJ and the city of Seattle entered into the consent decree to address findings that SPD engaged in a pattern or practice of unnecessary excessive force in violation of the Fourth Amendment to the United States Constitution. Most of the consent decree's requirements were lifted in 2023. In Seattle, James Lynch, Branch, KIRO News Radio.
And Chief Sean Barnes says the department will continue to work with stakeholders and, in his words, cement change as a bedrock principle of policing in Seattle.
The head of Seattle's police union says it's about time federal oversight of the SPD has ended. SPOG President Mike Solon tells the Jason Ranch Show on Seattle Red 770 AM.
We've climbed over the mountain, so to speak, and we're ready to, get back to, I think, trying to recruit people to be police officers here because we've lost half of the agency in 10 years. A lot of that over the time frame of the consent decree process.
Seattle entered the consent decree in 2012 after the Justice Department found a pattern of unnecessary use of force. A federal judge ruled yesterday hard work was done at all levels, making the department a model for reform.
Traffic every 10 minutes on the threes. Chris Sullivan is off today, so we check in with Ted Biener.
Thank you, Charlie. More cars are on the road. We don't have any reported crashes or stalls, but lots of slowing now, and that includes northbound I-5 from State Route 18 to near 200th and from the north end of Boeing Field into downtown. Eastbound 512 through Puyallup, that's got pretty slow now. Northbound 167's got braking from Sumner to near Willis and again from 180th to 405. Northbound 405 drags from the Renton curves up the Kennydale Hill. Coming in from Snohomish County, southbound I-5 is stacking up from the 405 split back to near the Boeing Freeway now. I'm looking at the cams, not seeing anything that's causing that, but it certainly is stacked up there. Southbound 405 has got crowding through the Canyon Park area, and westbound across the Trestle has some slowing. Drive times, Arlington to Everett is 14 minutes. Everett to Seattle or Bellevue, both of those are close to 50 minutes. Olympia to Tacoma through JBLM, that is 35 minutes. Tacoma to Seattle, that has grown to an hour and 5 minutes. Puyallup to Renton drive time, that is up to 50 minutes now. And Renton to Bellevue, that drive time has risen to 25 minutes. And one other note here, I got a text line message here. Appreciate the message. It says Highway 302 is closed at Victor Cutoff Road. Alternate route is Highway 3 through Bremerton or Shelton to get back to 101. Download the Seattle Sports app to stay in the know with the latest news, scores, and opinions about your favorite teams. I'm Ted Biener with KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic.
Another pleasant day on tap. We'll see a mix of sun and clouds and a high of 83. Pretty much the same tomorrow as we wrap up the week. There is a chance of seeing some showers on Saturday. Isolated thunderstorms a possibility too, but it's not going to be a whole washout. Partial clearing by afternoon. 76 on Saturday, 72 on Sunday. Right now, cloudy and 60 in Seattle.
At 6:36, it's time for the opening bell report. A federal judge spent 3 hours yesterday hearing objections to a deal between Boeing and the U.S. Justice Department. That agreement allows Boeing to avoid prosecution stemming from those two fatal 737 MAX crashes. Attorney Mark Lindquist represents victims' families.
Family members are frustrated in a couple of different ways. Number one, that this has just dragged on for several years. And number two, they feel like it's not leading to a resolution that feels just.
The DOJ deal drops independent oversight of Boeing in favor of a compliance consultant and requires the company to pay nearly $700 million in fines and victim compensation. The judge has not yet ruled.
Another wave of tech layoffs just hit the Seattle area. We told you yesterday Oracle is laying off another 101 people in Seattle. And according to the Employment Security Department now, Salesforce also let go 93 employees this week in Seattle and Bellevue. Both companies are major players in cloud and business software.
Americans are uneasy about the economy heading into the fall. Here's Jesse Mitchell with the report.
36% of people surveyed in a new CBS News YouGov poll said the economy is good, a 3% drop from July. 61% described the economy as uncertain, while 54% said struggling. The poll finds Americans' outlook varies by income level. People making over $100,000 a year overwhelmingly say the economy is good, while a majority of those making less than $50K say it's bad.
The Trump administration is turning to the Supreme Court over tariffs.
An appeals court recently ruled that most of President Trump's sweeping tariffs on foreign goods were illegal under an emergency powers law, but left the tariffs in place for now. However, the administration is now asking the nation's high court to quickly take up the tariffs case and rule that the president does have the power to impose sweeping trade penalties under federal law. Jennifer Kuiper, CBS News.
Google has been hit with a multi-million-dollar penalty in a class action suit over privacy privacy. And if you used Google, you may get paid.
A jury in San Francisco finds Google liable for privacy violations, and the internet giant must pay $425 million. It's for invading users' privacy by continuing to collect data from millions of people who had switched off a tracking feature. The verdict comes after a trial over allegations that since 2016, Google accessed people's cell phones to collect, save, and use their data even when they opted out. The penalty covers 98 million Google users, which will equal a payout of about $4 per person. Matt Piper, CBS News.
Remember yesterday how hard you laughed when I said Labubu?
I'm not sure we're allowed to say it on the radio, Manda.
Labubus are in the news. Customs officers at SeaTac Airport just stopped a shipment of fake Labubus. More than 11,000 counterfeit dolls were seized last week. They were hidden in boxes labeled LED bulb from South Korea.
Lion Labubus.
Labubus. U.S. Customs and Border Protection says the haul is worth more than $500,000. The Seattle Times reports no arrests yet, but the dolls will be destroyed. Labubus are viral toys from China if you've managed to
Bogus
escape the buzz.
Labubus.
They have fuzzy bodies, big eyes, creepy grins, and they have sparked a booming counterfeit market. Labubu.
Labubu. Okay, well, you're paying the FCC fine, Manda. Taking a look at Wall Street right now, we have Dow Jones down just very little, down 24 points. S&P 500 is up 9 points. NASDAQ ahead by 48.
Well, back to school means 10,000 buses, more than 1 million students, and 60,000 teachers all hitting the roads. Even if you don't have kids, your morning routine just got a wake-up call. With KIRO 7 pinpoint weather and real-time traffic every 10 minutes, you'll be totally prepared and know what to expect before it hits. From breaking news to changing skies and slowdowns you wouldn't see coming. KIRO 7 News in the morning has your back to school. Watch weekdays to 4:30 to 7 a.m. only on KIRO 7 TV.
All right, Ted, what's coming up in traffic?
We got some unusual stacking up of cars on southbound I-5 as you move into Linwood. I'll tell you more about it in just a few moments.
The opening bell is brought to you by Legacy Group Capital Common Sense Lending.
Man wide open, touchdown Seahawks!
Celebrating 50 years of Seahawks football with the voice of the Seahawks, Steve Rabel.
Number 71, Walter Jones, left tackle. The anchor to the left side of the offensive line for the Seahawks that went to the Super Bowl. One of the best players in franchise history.
Since the beginning, KIRO is where Seattle and the Pacific Northwest have heard the Seahawks play. Here's to the next 50 years.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. Summer's almost over, but the heat is pressing on. If you've got battery trouble, stop by AutoZone for free battery testing. It may just need a charge, and we'll do that for free too. If you do need a battery, we've got options starting at just $89.99. And we'll recycle your old battery for free. Now that's a strong start. Don't miss the end of summer sale. Now at AutoZone until September 22nd. Get in the zone, AutoZone. Restrictions apply.
Switching to Progressive is a game-winning call. And that reminds us of other game-winning calls in the history of sports.
It was a doubleheader in August and really hot inside the concession stand. So instead of waiting for people to come to me, I figured I'd walk around yelling, "Hot dogs here!" And that's how I became the first hot dog vendor in sports.
Okay, not really a game-winning call, but it was a good call. You can make one too. Switch to Progressive and you could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
The absolute best savings on a hot tub aren't at the fair. They're at Olympic Hot Tub. Get a truly untoppable deal. Purchase a saltwater hot spring spa and get a Lux Smart Top hardcover free. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
And now, Tales of Another Way.
How long can one go on with the same scent of shower soap? Sure, sandalwood is your signature aura, but today you went tropical essence. Glamping in the rainforest. Sometimes another way is the better way, like the new SR 509 Expressway, the alternate route that'll help manage congestion on I-5 and other local roads. Tolling begins September 29th. Save $2 per toll with a Good-to-Go pass. Learn more at goodtogo509.com.
6:43 now, and Ted Beener is watching the roads this morning.
I am, and this traffic report is brought to you by Global Credit Union. Got a report of a stall on northbound I-5 at Airport Way in the HOV lane. So far, not much in the way of backups there. But coming in from Snohomish County, southbound I-5, unusual bunching up of cars from about the 405 split back to near the Boeing Freeway. Haven't seen anything blocking, but it is kind of unusual for this time of the morning on a Thursday. Westbound across the Trestle also has some slowing, and southbound 405 has got some brake lights as you go through the Canyon Park area. Coming in from the south end, eastbound 512 slows as you go down the hill through Puyallup. Northbound 167 has some brake tapping from Sumner to near Willis, and again from 180th to 405. And we got a lot of slowing now as you go through the Renton curves on northbound 405 up to Kennydale Hill, and northbound I-5. That's got slowing from 320th to past 200th. And now, again, from the mid-Boeing Field area into downtown. Drive times, Auburn to Renton, about 20 minutes. Renton to Bellevue is 27 minutes now. Federal Way to Seattle, 46 minutes. 28 minutes of those are from South Center. And coming in from Snohomish County, Everett to Seattle is 45 minutes, while Everett to Bellevue now has risen to an hour. The Narrows and Lake Bridges are doing well. Global Credit Union, where members enjoy no-fee accounts and early payday with direct deposit. Learn more at globalcu.org. KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Ted Beener.
And our forecast, it's going to be another pleasant day, headed for a high of 83 today with partly cloudy skies. Tomorrow looks pretty much the same, and for the weekend, we might see some showers here and there, maybe a thunderstorm on Saturday, and down into the 70s, upper 70s Saturday, lower 70s on Sunday. Right now in Seattle, it's cloudy and 60.
6:45 now, a bummer for Lady Gaga fans. KIRO News Radio's Katrina Gishard is here with the story.
Hi, guys. Lady Gaga had to call off her concert in Miami last night at the very last minute. But she couldn't keep dancing, or rather even singing. In an Instagram post, she said she had to postpone the show, blaming it on an extremely strained voice and the advice of her doctor and vocal coach. She called it an agonizing decision and apologized, but noting performing could have caused long-term damage to her vocal cords. Gaga has 2 shows coming up at Madison Square Garden in New York, and she's scheduled to perform this Sunday at the VMAs.
Okay, and she was just recently in town here in Seattle.
She was,
so there you go. Okay, thank you, Katrina. It's 6:46 now. And coming up, we have Seattle recently wrapping up its PAX West Gaming Festival. We'll take a look at Beyond the Screen to explore real-world challenges to Latino video game developers and how they're facing it in this hour's Tech Talk.
Citizens, since we each upgraded to Xfinity in our homes, the Wi-Fi has been booming. It's fair to say our town has officially become a boomtown.
Mayor, will I be able to drop into multiplayer gaming battles with low lag?
The lag won't be an issue, but your questionable skills may be.
And what if I have hundreds of devices on the Wi-Fi? Purely hypothetical.
Seems like a lot, but sure, hundreds of devices all booming together with the Xfinity Gateway. Yes, friends and neighbors, with Xfinity, the Wi-Fi is booming.
The Wi-Fi isn't the only thing that's booming. Now get the most reliable Wi-Fi and our best-in-class equipment for one consistent price for 5 years guaranteed. All in. Plus, get unlimited data included and no annual contract. All with the 5-year price guarantee from Xfinity. Visit Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. New residential customers only. Select plans only. Xfinity Gateway with XFi Complete required for unlimited data except in certain areas. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024. Actual speeds vary.
Cap off your summer with an incredible night at the ballpark.
There it goes! Randy's done it! He has tied it up to the second deck!
The final Mariners fireworks show of the season is coming up Friday, September 12th, presented by T-Mobile. Cal Raleigh and the crew are taking on the Angels in a divisional showdown at 7:10. And after the final out, we'll be lighting up the sky with a dazzling post-game display. Fireworks, and Mariners baseball. That's 2 spectacular shows in one unforgettable night.
Holy smokes, what a firecracker!
way back into the upper deck. What a year for the Big Dumper. Go to Mariners.com to lock in your seats and check out everything on deck, including Fan Appreciation Night presented by Starbucks Saturday, September 13th, and a Super Mario Mariners cap giveaway thanks to Nintendo Sunday, September 14th. Plus, don't miss the final homestand of the regular season featuring a matchup against Shohei Ohtani and the defending World Series champion Dodgers, September 26th through 28th. Mariners baseball. Try dance up.
A serial killer on the prowl for teen girls in the Pacific Northwest. At least 2 escaped.
She literally crawled out of her grave. Just a miracle that she survived.
Hear their stories. Follow Stolen Voices of Dole Valley now.
KIRO Newsradio has your chance to win 2 tickets to see The Who at Climate Pledge Arena September 25th. Your last chance to see them live. Head to mynorthwest.com/win to enter and to see contest rules. That's mynorthwest.com/win for your chance to win.
Reliable, refreshing, and ready every morning. Seattle's Morning News.
In today's Tech Talk, Seattle just hosted the PAX West Video Game Festival.
Well, for a lot of people, the event wasn't just about gaming. It also highlighted concerns over U.S. immigration policies. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey and Paul Holden explain.
Latinx in Gaming is a nonprofit organization connecting and uplifting Latino talent across the gaming world. At last week's PAX West in Seattle, President Elaine Gomez spotlighted their mission from funding emerging Latino developers to removing everyday barriers. One recent example, helping a Cuban game developer pay for internet access, a costly but essential tool in a country where it's anything but accessible.
You take that for granted here in the U.S. Like right here at PAX, we're in this building, there's free Wi-Fi, but over there it's a different story.
But Gomez says tough U.S. immigration policies kept many Latino gamers and developers from making the trip to Seattle this year.
They're scared to visit the U.S. because of the situation that's happening, when all they want to do is pursue a career, or all they want to do is find an opportunity for their work so that they can elevate themselves and, support their families.
And she says many Latinos in the industry have seen a growing backlash, including online attacks and constant trolling.
I think that people have gotten a lot braver in the way that they want to share their hate, really push us out or remove us from conversations or silence us from having a voice and having opinions about what's going on.
According to the Pew Research Center, 3/4 of all gamers are white, 29% are Hispanic, the rest Black, Asian, Pacific Islander, or Native American. Gomez emphasizes non-white developers infuse every game they create with a rich cultural experience and fresh perspective, shaping storylines, influencing in-game choices, and even redefining visual aesthetics.
And it's like reading a book or watching a movie. Like, you take what you want from it, it's cool to experience it, and games are the same thing.
And for many Latino gamers, she says the desire is simple yet powerful. They just want to feel seen, heard, and supported.
Being able to find funding for their project and getting critical acclaim globally, these are really important, big deal things. And if we don't push through the noise and kind of figure out that it's a them problem, not an us problem, then that's all that we need to keep creating the impacts.
Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
All right, don't look back in anger, Oasis. Another British rock band is reuniting for a few live performances. Here's CBS's Jennifer Kuiper.
But I'm a creep. Radiohead have announced 20 shows taking place in 5 cities across Europe and will perform 4 nights in each city, including Madrid, London, and Berlin this November and December. The band last performed in 2018 in support of their last album, 2016's A Moon-Shaped Pool. It's unclear if the band is preparing a new release of original material. Jennifer Kuiper, CBS News.
Well, the freezers at the grocery stores are chock full of pizzas, but which is best? CBS's Deborah Rodriguez checks it out.
When you're stuck at home and you don't feel like cooking, you know what to do.
When the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie.
Cook up a frozen pie, and not all are created equal. The Washington Post put 11 top-selling cheese pizzas to the test and ranked DiGiorno's #1 for its sturdy crust cheese that tears away in lovely ribbons, with the sauce a silent partner. Whole Foods' thin crust 4-cheese pizza came in second. Costco's Kirkland brand third. Screamin' Sicilian Sicilian's I'm Thin and Crispy, and Freschetta's 4 cheese rounded out the top 5. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
That list did not include the Detroit-style pizza they have frozen at Costco, which is clearly the best.
I don't think I've had it.
Oh, it's so good.
Oh.
It's Detroit-style. It's square.
Yeah.
Nice, thick, chewy crust.
Delicious.
For a frozen pizza, it's not too bad.
All right, I'll give it a try.
6:53 now here on Seattle's Morning News. And we head over to Ted Beener, who's at the traffic desk.
Thanks, Charlie. As we approach the first peak of the morning commute, we do have our share of areas of slowing, and they include eastbound 18 past the Cheney Stadium. Northbound I-5 has got slowing from the Fife Curve to near 200th now, and from mid-Boeing Field into downtown. Northbound 167 got some braking from Pacific to near Willis, and again from 180th to 405. Northbound 405 drags from the Renton Curves to the VMAC. Coming in from Snohomish County, westbound across the Trestle has slowing that is spilled over onto State Route 204 as well as 20th. And southbound 405 bunches up from before Canyon Park to about 160th in Bothell. And southbound I-5, more slowing from the Boeing Freeway to past 128 and again across the county line. Drive times, Arlington to Everett, 14 minutes. Everett to Seattle is 45 minutes, while Everett to Bellevue is close to an hour. Coming in from the south end, Olympia to Tacoma through JBLM, doing pretty well at 35 minutes. Tacoma to Seattle, that is an hour and 10 minutes, though. Your Puyallup to Renton drive time, 47 minutes, while on northbound 405, Renton to Bellevue, that has risen to 31 minutes. KIRO Newsradio real-time traffic. I'm Ted Beener.
Now I'm craving pizza.
Yeah.
Have you tried the Screamin' Sicilian one she mentioned? It's
No.
quite good.
Is that good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Really good.
Okay, maybe we should just have a taste test in the newsroom.
That's fun.
Okay.
My family did a burger battle and got the charts out and everything once and got burgers from all over town.
This is like a NCAA tournament.
Exactly.
Okay.
Let's do it. It's going to be a nice day. We'll see partly sunny skies, 83 for today. Tomorrow, 82. Saturday might see a few showers rolling in, possibility of a thunderstorm in 76, and isolated showers on Sunday, but peaks of sunshine too. Right now in Seattle, it's cloudy and 60.
Coming up, we'll have the latest world and national headlines, our top local stories, and we'll also take a deeper dive into the Epstein files and the latest developments in Congress. You're listening to Seattle's Morning News.
For the news you trust.
Breaking news we are getting.
Experience matters.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granillo.
James Lynch, KIRO Newsradio.
Good morning. I'm Heather Bosch.
Luke Ducey, KIRO Newsradio.
We're on YouTube, our app, and 97.3 FM.
So my mother is thinking of switching from Verizon to Pure Talk, but she's worried the deal sounds too good to be true. Michael, she said, how can those Pure Talk people offer me the same basic service as Verizon for so much less money? I said, Mom, go ask Google how much Verizon spends on advertising and promotion. A few seconds later, my mother said, oh my goodness, $12 billion a year? That must be a typo. I'll tell you what I told my mom. It's not a typo. Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotion, and their customers are paying for it. Well, Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. Trust me, I would know. Consequently, they can offer you and my mother unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a blazing fast 5G network for just $25 a month. Dial pound 250 and say the words micro, and you'll get an additional 50% off your first month. That's pound 250 micro. Pure Talk. Everything you need and nothing you don't.
KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
I'm Captain John Kelly with the Salvation Army. The Seattle Addiction Recovery Program helps men break free from addiction at no cost to them through physical, emotional, and spiritual growth. That's why our success rate is nearly 4 times the national average. While participants pay nothing, it costs the Salvation Army about $10,000 to help one person graduate into recovery. Want to help? Join us for the Red Shield Classic Golf Tournament, September 11th at Echo Falls. Register or donate at tsaredshieldclassic.org. Together, we can change lives.
Man wide open, touchdown Seahawks!
Celebrating 50 years of Seahawks football with the voice of the Seahawks, Steve Rabel.
Number 71, Walter Jones, left tackle. The anchor to the left side of the offensive line for the Seahawks that went to the Super Bowl. One of the best players in franchise history.
Since the beginning, KIRO is where Seattle and the Pacific Northwest have heard the Seahawks play. Here's to the next 50 years.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with a Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Progressive knows if you have to choose between everyday life and your boat, boat wins.
What are you going to do? Take the boat out for a spin or go mail something? Boat wins! Are we cleaning the patio or taking the boat out fishing? Boat wins! Are we skipping that eye exam to go sailing? Boat wins!
Rescheduling eye exams can be a nightmare.
All right, fine. Eye exam, then boat. Yeah!
With Progressive, you can bundle your boat with your home or auto and save with a discount and spend more time enjoying those savings on your boat. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states and situations.
You're losing your hair and you simply need a solution that works. You want the best. Modern technology, top-rated physicians, something that's guaranteed to work. Guys, you need world-class Dr. Perungo and his team at Advanced Hair. Advanced Hair has completely redefined hair restoration. From the experience itself to their unmatched results. Receding hairline, bald spot, thinning hair, maybe all three like I had. Get your hair back with Advanced Hair's simple one-day treatment that begins to regrow your own natural hair the very next day. Advanced Hair has changed tens of thousands of lives, including mine. And get this, Advanced Hair is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. For your free consultation, call 425-449-8185. Right now, you'll get $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. Refine your hairline with the team that redefined hair restoration. That's 425-449-8185. Or for the before and afters, visit advancedhair.com.
Shop incredible end-of-summer savings at the Dania Furniture Labor Day sale. For a limited time, take up to 70% off select modern furniture and decor for every room in your home. Stop by one of our 4 local showrooms today or shop online at daniafurniture.com.
With over 20 new home communities throughout the Puget Sound area, D.R. Horton has the right home for you. Learn more at drhorton.com. That's drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder, an equal housing opportunity builder.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM, and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. Sparks could fly when Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. begins answering questions at a Senate hearing that gets underway in half an hour. Members of the Democratic Congressional Doctors Caucus have been rallying outside. Among them, Minnesota Congresswoman Kelly Morrison.
We have had a complete political takeover of our nation's top health agency.
Correspondent Natalie Brand.
This hearing is expected to get heated as Secretary Kennedy faces tough questions and growing concerns over the massive changes he's made to the CDC. Ahead of the hearing, 1,000 current and former Health and Human Services staff members released a letter saying that Secretary Kennedy's actions are, quote, compromising the health of the nation, and they're calling for his resignation.
The first day of classes getting underway in Florida, first day since the state Surgeon General announced he wants to do away with vaccine mandates. CBS Miami's Bree Buckley is outside a high school in Pinecrest.
Here at the school, there was a student who caught measles a few months ago, so that announcement really hitting close to home here. Officials here at the school say they were able to stop an outbreak, but now the worry is that that might not be the case moving forward if the mandate is changed.
Texas lawmakers have passed legislation that cracks down on mail-order abortion pills. CBS's Michael Wallace.
It's already illegal to provide abortion pills in the Lone Star State. This bill will allow residents to sue doctors, abortion pill makers, and delivery companies like UPS and FedEx for damages, even if those residents have no connection to a pregnant woman. Opponents say the legislation deputizes Texans as bounty hunters and may illegally export Texas law across state lines.
Investigators are searching for the cause of a streetcar crash in Lisbon, Portugal that killed 16 people. The BBC's Alison Roberts.
The car hurtled down the very steep slope, as eyewitnesses indicated, and only did not crash into the other car standing at the bottom of the slope because there's a slight curve just before the end.
The 19th century streetcars are a popular tourist attraction. An Italian-born fashion master is gone. His company says designer Giorgio Armani has died. Correspondent Matt Piper looks back.
Despite being one of the biggest names in fashion, Giorgio Armani told CBS News that he always worried no one would like his next collection.
Sono terrorizzato.
I'm terrified, he said. But the designer who made the cover of Time magazine had no reason to be. He was a hit with the public and popular with filmmakers, and while Armani started out designing clothes, his multi-billion-dollar empire would eventually extend far beyond fashion to include luxury goods and services.
Giorgio Armani was 91 years old. The Dow's up 35 points. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
7:03. Let's check in with Ted Biener at the traffic desk.
All right, this traffic report is brought to you by Seattle Sports. Well, the good news is we don't have any blocking issues yet. Traffic volumes continue to rise. Coming in from Snohomish County, southbound I-5 has slowing from the Boeing Freeway to past 128th, and now from the 405 split to across the county line. Westbound across the Trestles got some slowing, and southbound 405 got some brake lights there from Canyon Park all the way to 160th in Bothell. Coming in from the south end, northbound 167 got some brake tapping from Pacific to near Willis, and from 180th to 405. Northbound 405 is a chore from the Renton curves up and past the VMAC there. And northbound I-5, that's got some slowing from the 5 curve to State Route 18, from 320th to past 200th, and now from the south end of Boeing Field into downtown. Drive times, Auburn to Renton, about 20 minutes. Renton to Bellevue is 27 minutes. Federal Way to Seattle, that's grown to 52 minutes. 31 of those are from South Center. And coming in from Snohomish County, Everett to Seattle is 48 minutes, while Everett to Bellevue is close to an hour. The Narrows and Lake Bridges are doing well. Search Seattle Sports on YouTube and click subscribe to get fresh video content daily. I'm Ted Biener with KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic.
Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Good morning. It's 7:04. U.S. Senator Maria Cantwell expected to renew her feud with Robert F. Kennedy Jr. this morning as the Washington Democrat interrogates the Health and Human Services Secretary over his increasingly unpopular policies.
Let's get a preview now live from KIRO News Radio's Corwin Hake.
Well, Amanda, Cantwell questions Kennedy today as a member of the Senate Finance Committee, and the nominal topic is next year's HHS budget. However, the Washington senator and other committee Democrats plan to hold RFK Jr.'s feet to the fire for recent actions, including last week's firing of Susan Monarez, the only recently appointed Centers for Disease Control director. Cantwell last grilled Kennedy during his Senate confirmation hearing in January, where she sought to ensure funding for UW stem cell research.
We're making regenerative heart tissue now at the University of Washington. So, yes or no, do you commit to protecting stem cell research for scientific agencies if confirmed?
I will protect stem cell research. Stem cell research today can be done on umbilical cords, and you don't need fetal tissue.
You'll protect the laws that are on the books today and the research that's done.
My job is, Senator, to enforce the laws.
That was back in January. Since then, the HHS secretary has infuriated his critics by cutting staff from public health agencies and espousing controversial views, including anti-vaccine policies. Now, this hearing with RFK on the hot seat is set to begin within the next half hour or so, and of course, we'll bring you highlights throughout the morning.
Corwin, thanks for the update. 7:06 now. A man who was found dead at the Burning Man Arts and Music Festival over the weekend has been identified as a Washington State resident.
We get more on this from KIRO 7 TV's Elle Thomas.
He was a Russian national who called Tacoma home. Police found Vadim Kruglov in a pool of blood near the start of the burn on Saturday night. Investigators declared it a homicide. The county medical examiner identified Kruglov. According to a GoFundMe, he was a common attendant at the festival. Almost $12,000 has been raised. According to his friends, the money will be used to send his remains back to his parents in Russia.
A judge ended federal oversight of the Seattle Police Department after 13 years yesterday. The update from KIRO News Radio's James Lynch.
SPD came under U.S. Justice Department supervision after a lawsuit over biased policing and excessive use of force. Seattle police say they've now expanded training in de-escalation and cultural competency, increased transparency, and community engagement. And Mayor Bruce Harrell says Chief Sean Barnes is the right person to lead the department into a new era.
Chief Barnes has been out there in the field, and he talked about having over 300 community meetings, making sure that our culture reflects that which the community wants.
In Seattle, James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Reliable, refreshing, and ready every morning. Seattle's Morning News.
Well, here it is. We're already Thursday morning.
How'd that happen?
I love it. The weekend is upon us. And Ted, not to put you on the hot spot, but summer's over, isn't it? Coming this weekend, it's full on fall.
All I know is that Manda doesn't want any more 90-degree days, and I think they're basically done. Now, we might crack 80.
I'll take 80.
Next couple days.
Okay.
80's comfy.
And it might happen a little later this month as we get closer to the fall equinox. But, hey.
Summer's over. Ted says it's official.
You're grumpy. You would say the Mariners season is over, too.
I did not say the season was over.
Okay.
Well, coming up on this hour of the show, we have CBS's Scott MacFarlane talking about President Trump's latest threat to deploy troops to New Orleans in his recent crackdown on crime.
Also coming up on Capitol Hill yesterday, Jeffrey Epstein survivors shared their stories about the late convicted sex offender, and we'll talk about that coming up.
It's 7:08 now here on Seattle's Morning News. As thousands of Seattle public school students head back to the class, some of them will be returning to schools with new safety upgrades.
KIRO 7 TV's Lindsay Shelton has details.
SPS Safety and Security Project Manager Michael Wells showed us the new intercoms. Essential messages scroll across the bottom and on screens in the halls.
We're going to want to see that everybody in those classrooms has acknowledged that lockdown and that they're safe.
If they don't,
we can chime into that room via the intercom system. Ask, are you guys okay? We can listen in to see if there's any concerns.
Each classroom has an alert button that teachers can press to immediately reach the main office. Wells says 9 schools will have the new security system in place as the school year starts.
Washington, California, and Oregon say they will now bypass the Trump administration's CDC guidance if it's rooted in ideology instead of science. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey explains how the West Coast Health Alliance will work.
State Health Secretary Dennis Worsham says from here on, if any CDC guidance on any health issue, not just vaccines, appears rooted in politics instead of science, the newly formed West Coast Health Alliance will seek guidance from other trusted health organizations.
We as an alliance will work together to review the data that is being put out from these academies and these national organizations in order to make recommendations for the people here in the state of Washington.
Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
A Thurston County commissioner is introducing a local ordinance that would keep federal immigration agents out of areas where firefighters are battling wildfires. This comes after Border Patrol agents arrested 2 firefighters and forced 42 other contract firefighters to leave the Bear Gulch wildfire. Commissioner Wayne Fournier, who's been a firefighter for 30 years, says first responders need to work without interference.
If there's something big like the Oso landslide happened again, there's thousands of people that are going there from all over the world, and they need to be able to operate under that command structure safely and not, they shouldn't have to worry about anybody coming in and interfering with the life-saving operations.
The Bear Gulch wildfire is now burning on more than 9,400 acres. It's only 10% contained, and 200 firefighters are on scene.
A man the Thurston County Sheriff calls likely the most dangerous driver in the state is back behind bars for now after a high-speed pursuit. KIRO News Radio's Heather Bosch reports.
He's going to go the wrong way at I-5.
Deputies clocked the driver going 135 miles per hour.
Smokey's overhead.
A state patrol plane tracked him as he ditched the car and tried to make a run for it until troopers caught up with him.
And you just got him tackled here.
The Thurston County Sheriff's Office says the man already has 14 felony convictions. Heather Bosch, KIRO News Radio.
29 arrests, 14 convictions. By the way, this is the topic of my morning commentary at 7:35. Judge set his bail at $100,000. He's due back in court September 9th.
Federal Way's Jet Chevrolet has been hit by catalytic converter thieves again. Here's KIRO News Radio's Frank Lindsay.
Owner Ken Dinsmore tells the Jason Ranch Show on Seattle Red 770 AM that 18 converters were stolen from 9 commercial vehicles in one night.
$100,000 in damage makes my stomach just sink thinking about it, honestly.
And he says insurance will only cover about 25% of the loss. The company's now considering selling vehicles without converters and installing them after purchase. Jet Chevrolet has been targeted nearly 10 times. Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
7:12 now. Time for weather brought to us by State Roofing and Exteriors. Nick, I don't know if you heard Ted, but he basically affirmed. He said, without a doubt, summer is over. starting this weekend, and it's permanently fall for at least the next 3 months.
Well, whenever Theodore W. Beaner Jr. III Esquire says anything, we must listen. So he could have said that it's going to be 116 tomorrow.
Yeah.
I have to change my forecast.
Said to take it to the bank. No more summer weather.
That's not what he said.
Everybody that says take it to the bank, that's always a bad guy in an 80s movie. So he also was the bad guy in RoboCop. So way to go, Ted. This morning we have clouds, we have some haze, we have some fog, and what you'll find is slowly increasing sunshine, but hazy sunshine. And with the fog and with the clouds and with the haze, I did lower it a degree or two from yesterday. I went to about 83. It's not that not that often we get 85 or higher in September, but we do it once-ish, roughly on average, I think, and we'll be right around it, but still a little cooler than that. Air quality is good to moderate with maybe a smaller percentage in the unhealthy for sensitive group range, and we'll probably be in that moderate to unhealthy for sensitive group range. We just don't have enough wind, plus there's just too many fires out there. Tomorrow, morning clouds, afternoon sun. I do like that because that's some fresher ocean air. I think you'll get to the low 80s. Not as much sunshine, though, as we have been seeing. And then this weekend, may even see a few late day showers on Saturday with a much cooler day in the 70s, or a couple of thunderstorms that could develop, not just in the mountains, but in the lowlands into early on Sunday even, with a few showers around and only getting to about 70. And then, I think like Ted said, I think we're going to find cooler weather all of next week, and more than likely, that's the end.
Are you looking forward to some rain early next week?
I just honestly don't want it to be 85 all the time. If it's 73, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good. So I don't really care. I just want it to be like 73, and I want Ted to just be happy.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's what we all want. Yeah. Thank you, Nick.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. That's what it's all about. So you can send money to the Ted Fund. It's money for Teds. It's good. Whatever you need.
Right now in Seattle, it's cloudy and 59.
Yes, Ted is a meteorologist, but he also plays traffic guy on the radio.
Yeah, it's something about a Swiss Army knife. I do all kinds of things. All right. This traffic report is brought to you by Wilcox Family Farm Eggs. No reported crashes or stalls other than this just came in. We got a disabled vehicle in the right lane blocking Airport Way North right there at South Homer Street. So be aware of that if that is your commute. Areas of slowing, though, they include northbound I-5 from the Fife curve to State Route 18, about 320th to past 200th, and again from the south end of Boeing Field into downtown. Northbound 167's got some braking from Pacific to near Willis, and again from 180th to 405. Northbound 405 is bumper to bumper from the Renton curves to the VMAC. Coming in from Snohomish County, southbound 405 bunches up from before Canyon Park through 160th in Bothell. And southbound I-5 has got some brake lights around the Boeing Freeway merge, and again from the 405 split across the county line. Also got some slowing on eastbound 18 from Tiger Mountain to I-90. Drive times, Arlington to Everett, very good, 14 minutes. Both Everett to Seattle Bellevue, not too bad, between 50 and 55 minutes. Coming in from the south end, Olympia to Tacoma is about 35 minutes. Tacoma to Seattle, an hour and 10 minutes. Puyallup to Renton drive time is 50 minutes, while on northbound 405, Renton to Bellevue, that drive time is 31 minutes. Cage-free eggs are good. Free range are better. Mobile pasture-raised eggs are the best. Choose the best for your family. Locally fresh Wilcox Family Farm eggs. KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Ted Beaner.
7:16 now. A superhero sequel will be in theaters coming in the coming years. KIRO News Radio's Katrina Gishard has the details.
Following the massive success of this summer's Superman.
Are you being serious right now?
Yeah.
You'd let me interview you as Superman.
Sure.
Ready?
Let's do it, Cronkite.
Superman.
Miss Lane.
Recently, you've come under a lot of fire for what some might. It's a lot.
DC Studio announced its next installment of The Man of Steel will be called Man of Tomorrow. The release date is July 2027. James Gunn is back writing and directing, with David Cornswet playing Clark Kent and Nicholas Hoult playing Lex Luthor. This comes after Superman crossed the $600 million marker at the worldwide office.
Talk about divisive on the show. I love the movie, but G came in here and he's like...
He hated it,
yeah,
right?
It was cheeks. I loved it, though. So
we'll revisit this in 2 years.
All right. Thanks, Katrina. It's 7:17.
Seattle's morning news. Always live, always connected. Stream, watch, subscribe, and share at mynorthwest.com.
Well, yesterday on Capitol Hill, Jeffrey Epstein survivors shared their stories about the late convicted sex offender while calling for accountability and transparency.
They are urging lawmakers to pass legislation to compel the government to release the full Epstein files. CBS's Nicole Killian spoke with a survivor who's breaking her silence after 2 decades.
So I ask you, President Trump and members of Congress, why do we continue to cover up sexual abuse and assault?
Speaking with one voice.
The days of sweeping this under the rug are over.
A unified demand for transparency.
And to those in power, hear us clearly. Do your job.
Ashley Rubright was among the survivors who came forward Wednesday detailing abuse she says she suffered as a teenager by Jeffrey Epstein.
When I walked in to the house and up to his room, you know, he was naked, and I didn't expect that. I just figured, you know, he's an old rich guy, and he's getting a massage. I mean, at 15, what would appeal to you about giving an old guy a massage? The $200. Did you have sex with him? No. He did a lot of touching the first time. I think that's all I want to say about that right now.
She says she has blocked out much of the experience, even though she only had 2 encounters with the financier, including one where his longtime associate, Ghislaine Maxwell, was present.
I did introduce him to women.
Rubright says she was shocked by Maxwell's recent interview with Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche and her subsequent transfer to a lower security prison in Texas.
It's disgusting, and it's another slap in the face to us.
While President Trump has asked the Attorney General to release some records in the Epstein case, he said calls to disclose more are irrelevant.
This is a Democrat hoax.
I'm not a hoax. I'm real. My story's real.
Democratic California Congressman Ro Khanna is the co-sponsor of a bipartisan petition requesting the administration release all of its files on Epstein.
We want what the survivors want. They were very clear. They want the Epstein files to be released.
But Rubright is tempering her expectations.
We want justice and accountability.
Some of the survivors say they may compile their own Epstein client list. Republican Tom Massey even said he's willing to name names. He's been working with Congressman Khanna on that bipartisan petition to release the Epstein files, which only needs 4 more signatures to force a vote.
Vice President J.D. Vance visited Minneapolis to meet with families affected by a deadly church shooting. We get more on this from CBS News correspondent Linda Kenyon.
The attack at the Annunciation Catholic Church killed 2 school children and injured 21 people. One of the injured was 10-year-old Weston Halsney, who had surgery to remove a bullet fragment from his neck and could not have an in-person visit. Vice President Vance spoke to him by phone.
I said you can tell the Vice President from the Vice President of the United States that your older brother has to be nice to you for at least the next week.
The Vice President also met with families.
All they ask is that we look very seriously at the root causes.
Protesters nearby called for bans on assault weapons. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, Washington.
A piece of art stolen more than 80 years ago is hanging in public view for the first time in decades.
An 18th century Italian painting stolen by a Nazi officer during World War II is now on public display in Argentina. It comes a month after Portrait of a Lady was spotted in a real estate listing, but it disappeared before police arrived to confiscate it at the home of the daughter of a top advisor to Adolf Hitler's deputy, Hermann Göring. Prosecutors say Patricia Kajian's lawyer has returned the masterpiece after she was placed under house arrest. An expert has valued Portrait of a Lady at around $50,000. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
Well, you could buy it if you win Powerball. The jackpot is soaring again.
This is Powerball. Good evening, America.
Last night's drawing was for $1.4 billion. Saturday's jackpot will be an estimated $1.7 billion, which would be the 3rd largest in U.S. lottery history. The biggest was a $2.04 billion Powerball payout in November of 2022. As always, the odds of winning are 1 in 292 million.
So you're telling me there's a chance? Yeah!
We'll see you back here Saturday night.
Michael Wallace, CBS News.
I need to issue a correction here. I've
What
made a
could it
mistake. Amanda, Ted, I hope you can forgive me. I identified the frozen pizza at Costco that's really good as Detroit pizza.
Right.
It's called Motor City Pizza, which is so
okay.
good.
You know what? I have seen that.
Yeah, it's really good.
And it's in the freezer aisle.
In the freezer aisle. We were talking about the best frozen pizzas, and that's my vote for the best. So, and one of the listeners, Chris P., he says you might also check it out at Walmart as well because they have the Supreme frozen pizza.
Got it.
Okay. I'm here for your breaking pizza bulletins as well.
And apology accepted.
And you're forgiven.
Thank you, Ted. Appreciate it. Let's talk about traffic. Is it very forgiving right now as we make our way around on a Thursday morning?
That's a good segue.
I see what you
like
did there.
that. Wow, he's a professional, isn't he?
Yeah.
All right, this traffic report is brought to you by flyseaportair.com. Well, coming in from Snohomish County, westbound across the trestle, that's got some slowing there. Southbound I-5 has braking around the Boeing Freeway merge, and from the 405 split into Shoreline. Southbound 405 is sluggish from Canyon Park to 160th in Bothell. Coming in from the south end, northbound 167 has got brake lights from State Route 18 to near Willis, and from 180th to 405, northbound 405, that is rolling slow from the Renton curves to the VMAC, and northbound I-5 has slowing from the Fife curve to State Route 18, from 320th to past 200th, and from the south end of Boeing Field into downtown. So I would say, Charlie, things are pretty forgiving here this morning so far. Let's keep it that way, all right? You going to go with that?
Be on your best behavior, okay?
Yeah, there you go.
Keep your nose clean while driving.
2 hands on the wheel, right? Okay. Drive times, Auburn to Renton, that has grown to 28 minutes. Renton to Bellevue is now 35 minutes. Federal Way to Seattle is about an hour. 34 minutes of those are from South Center. Coming in from the north end, Everett to Seattle or Bellevue are just over 50 minutes. The Narrows and Lake Bridges are doing well, but eastbound 18, that is a slow go from Tiger Mountain to I-90. Introducing convenient flights between Boeing Field and Portland on Seaport Airlines with parking just steps away and no TSA lines. Visit flyseaportair.com. KIRO Newsradio, real-time traffic. I'm Ted Peter.
We'll see a mix of sun and clouds again for today, warming up to about 83, 82 tomorrow. And then for the weekend, we might get a little rain. Isolated thunderstorms, a possibility on Saturday, and cooler, a high of 76. Only 72 Sunday. It will be cloudy early on Sunday, partial sunshine by afternoon, though, and a high of 72. Right now, it's cloudy and 60 in Seattle.
Today's top stories on the way, and at 7:35 in the commentary, why isn't a driver with multiple felonies given tougher bail and longer jail time? We'll talk about it on Seattle's Morning News.
Man wide open, touchdown Seahawks!
Celebrating 50 years of Seahawks football with the voice of the Seahawks, Steve Rabel.
Number 71, Walter Jones, left tackle, the anchor to the left side of the offensive line for the Seahawks that went to the Super Bowl. One of the best players in franchise history.
Since the beginning, KIRO is where Seattle and the Pacific Northwest have heard the Seahawks play. Here's to the next 50 years.
Hey there, Dawn Reiling from Olympic Hot Tub. It's fair season, but the absolute best savings on a hot tub aren't at the fair. They're at Olympic. Purchase a saltwater hot spring spa and get a deal that's truly untoppable. A Lux Smart Top hardcover included for free. Wow! Up to $4,500 off the best tub you can own. And it's only at Olympic till September 14th. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Olympic Hot Tub. Do you know someone whose everyday actions make Washington stronger? Someone whose care, service, and connection lift us all. They're Washington's community champions, and WSECU wants to celebrate them this fall. Steve Rabel here. WSECU has been serving Washington since 1957, and they're the only credit union named Forbes' Best Credit Union 5 years running. Now it's your turn to get in the game. Nominate your Washington Community Champion today at mynorthwest.com/champion.
Eric Johnson here. I spent the past 30 years working to help make our community better informed, better protected when it comes to consumer issues, and better equipped to take on whatever life throws at us. That's why I love the free Washington Accident book series from Davis Law Group. These books keep us better informed about the law, better able to protect ourselves on and off the road, and better off when all is said and done after an accident. Chris Davis didn't have to write these books. He did it because he saw a need. People who were in accidents or other legal situations didn't know what to do, what pictures to take, documents to request. Only a tiny fraction of the people who get these free books will ever become clients of Davis Law Group, but that's not the point. Chris wrote them because it was the right thing to do. The free Washington Accident Book Series is a must-have for drivers who want to be prepared for whatever the road might throw at them. Get yours at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
If you've been considering surgery or even joint replacement, let me suggest something. Hi, it's Dave Ross. I've now talked to over 200 patients of Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, so many of whom have told me about the life-changing results, and those are their words, after treatment at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. These are people with severe osteoarthritis, even bone on bone, and they tell me that they're back hiking, jogging, playing tennis, skiing, golfing, walking up and down stairs, playing with the kids, the grandkids, and doing it without pain and without surgery. Dr. Mark Wagner's 60-minute outpatient procedure uses your own stem cells, and because they're your own stem cells, they can help regenerate your own cartilage in your own joints. Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, is a board-certified Seattle physician with over 30 years of experience, and he's performed over 20,000 stem cell procedures. Also, he's one of the few doing it the right way. So listen to his patients, and remember, whether it's a shoulder, hip, elbow, ankle, wrist, or knee, before you choose surgery, first see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD. Get the facts, then get back in the game at drmarkwagnermd.com.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have Leaf Filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/radio to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/radio for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Real Success. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at ourrealsuccess.com.
Do you want to learn how to make money flipping houses and acquiring rental properties right here in Seattle without using your own money? You'll learn to flip houses and secure rental properties in your spare time to get on track towards real wealth building. We're offering a handful of motivated individuals the opportunity to attend our workshop right here in Seattle for free. That's right, we'll give you 2 free tickets when you text FREE to 64,000. Seattle is the perfect market to flip houses and build rental income. Don't miss this opportunity. Come to a complimentary live 2-hour workshop this week right here in Seattle and learn how to start making money flipping homes and building long-term wealth with rental properties. To get 2 free tickets, text FREE to 64,000. Text in the next 10 minutes, and registrants will also receive a free copy of our Funding for Deals guide. Text FREE to 64,000 for 2 complimentary tickets. Text FREE to 64,000.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Good morning, it's 7:30. The FBI says they are not Travis Decker's remains. Instead, bones found near Leavenworth last month are not human.
And KIRO News Radio's Corwin Hake is here to tell us what's next.
Yeah, this is disappointing. Hopes ran high that searchers had, in fact, found the remains of the accused killer not far from the site where his 3 young daughters were found murdered last June. Instead, an FBI memo now confirms Central Washington University has completed a review of the bones and concluded they're not human, and it is a frustrating dead end within a manhunt that has stymied investigators for more than 3 months, a search that has yielded no good leads on the 33-year-old suspect, dead or alive. In August, Chelan County Sheriff Mike Morrison braced us for the possibility the search could stretch out as long as Washington's most notorious murder investigation.
Anyone can pick up where we left off. We saw this with the Green River Killer case. This started in the early 80s, expanded out in the early 2000s. I can tell you that a lot of the investigators that were assigned to that case had long since retired. Again, we want to lay that kind of foundation in case our investigation goes that long.
And who knows, Decker had picked up his daughters at their mother's home in the Wenatchee Valley back on May 30th. They were headed for a 5K run. That's the last time Decker or the girls were seen alive, and we know that Decker is said to be ex-military with extensive survival training. That's why they feel like he might still be out there somewhere, guys.
Okay, thank you for that, Corwin. The other story Corwin is working on this morning is Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. He is testifying on Capitol Hill right now, and just moments ago he was interrupted by a heckler.
Electronic cigarettes, drug prices, prior authorization, information blocking.
It takes over 3 months to get a prior authorization.
After that protester was silenced, the committee apologized to RFK Jr.
I apologize to you for that outburst, Secretary Kennedy. I would notify everyone else in the audience. Comments from the audience are inappropriate. If there are any further disruptions, the committee will recess until the police can restore order.
And we're still awaiting Senator Maria Cantwell from Washington State, expected to grill Kennedy later this morning.
Washington, California, and Oregon say they will now bypass the Trump administration's CDC guidance if it's rooted in ideology instead of science. KIRO Newsradio's Luke Ducey explains what that means for vaccines and whether insurance companies will cover the costs.
Washington Health Secretary Dennis Worsham says the West Coast Health Alliance doesn't know yet if insurance will cover vaccinations based on state guidance.
How insurance coverage works will be a process that we'll have to learn more about going forward in how we implement that here. But we're sure that we can get there as a state.
Typically, insurance companies follow CDC immunization schedules for coverage decisions. Worsham says the alliance formed in response to Trump's mass firing of CDC doctors and scientists, replacing science with ideology. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
It's 7:33 and time to check traffic. Once again, we do that every 10 minutes for you. Chris Sullivan is off. Ted Beaner's here.
All right, this traffic report is brought to you by Seattle Sports. We got more cars on the road. No reported crashes or stalls, knock on wood. We do have areas of slowing, though, and that includes northbound I-5 from the Port of Tacoma Road to State Route 18, from about 320th to past 200th, and from the south end of Boeing Field into downtown. Northbound 167 is braking at times from Sumner to near Willis, and again from 212th to 405. Northbound 405 is solid from the Renton curves to the VMAC. Coming in from Snohomish County, southbound 405 bunches up from before Canyon Park through 160th in Bothell. And southbound I-5 has brake lights from before the 405 split down across the county line, and now from Lake City Way to the Ship Canal Bridge. Also got some slowing on eastbound 18 from Tiger Mountain to I-90. Some drive times, both Everett to Seattle or Bellevue, they're right around that 50 to 55 minute mark. Olympia to Tacoma through JBLM is 37 minutes. Tacoma to Seattle, that's an hour and 10 minutes. Your Puyallup to Renton drive time is 48 minutes, while on northbound 405, Renton to Bellevue, that drive time has grown to 48 minutes. You can always listen to your favorite local sports content on the FM dial on 97.3 HD2. I'm Ted Beaner with KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic.
We're going to see a partly cloudy day with a high of 83 for today. Tomorrow looks pretty much the same. Isolated thunderstorms a possibility on Saturday, and we'll stay in the 70s. About 76 for Saturday, 72 on Sunday. We'll start off Sunday cloudy with some early partial sunshine in the afternoon. High of 72 on Sunday. Right now, it's partly sunny and 61 in Seattle.
Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
7:36 and time for this morning's commentary. Saturday, just after midnight, a guy in a BMW SUV decides to turn I-5 into his personal NASCAR track. Except he's going the wrong direction at 120 miles per hour. Against traffic, in the dark. Cars had to swerve out of the way when they saw the oncoming headlights. Thurston County Sheriff Derek Sanders, who chased this driver himself, calls him likely the most dangerous driver in the state. And when you hear what comes next, you'll understand why. This was arrest number 29. Not a typo. He's been arrested 29 times. 14 felony convictions, including vehicular assault, auto theft, attempting to elude police. And yet there he was Saturday night, allegedly high on meth and fentanyl, one head-on collision away from turning someone's drive home into a tragedy. Earlier this year, he was convicted of felony DUI, served less than a month for this, his 14th felony conviction. released on probation in February. And surprise, surprise, he never checked in with his probation officer, meaning he had an outstanding warrant when this weekend's chase happened. After all of this, a judge just set his bail at $100,000 Tuesday. That means this guy will pay $10,000 to a bail bondsman, and he's potentially back on the streets. Oh, but don't worry. The judge told him he can't drive if he posts bail. He was driving on a suspended license in a stolen car with an active warrant. But I'm sure this time, when he pinky swears not to drive, he really means it. Bail is for manageable risk. This isn't that. This is the revolving door of justice. Arrest number 29. Pay your 10 grand, promise to be good, and out you go. Until arrest number 30. I keep asking myself, what exactly does it take to keep clearly dangerous felons locked up longer? To give them tougher bail than this? We all believe in second chances. But what about chance number 29? At what point does compassion for the offender become recklessness toward everyone else? Sheriff Sanders says it's nothing short of a miracle this guy didn't kill someone Saturday night. As he put it, when you're going 60 miles per hour and somebody hits you at 120, everyone dies in that. Somewhere out there right now is a family that doesn't even know how close they came to being Sunday morning's lead story. They got their miracle. But depending on miracles is not a public safety strategy. It is hope dressed up as policy. When someone has demonstrated repeatedly, violently, that they cannot stop endangering others, isn't it time to prioritize the people just trying to get home safely? Judges need the authority and the courage to protect the community. Longer sentences and tougher bail in cases like this. And if the legislature has tied their hands, it's time for Olympia to untie them. Because next time, we might not get a miracle. Maybe I'm wrong. But when a 14-time felon is driving backwards at twice the speed limit on the freeway and the system's answer is a wag of the finger, we are no longer debating justice reform. We're just negotiating the number of victims. Text us at 888-973-5476. You can jump in the chat at YouTube Live at KIRO News Radio, and you can always leave a comment on this at mynorthwest.com.
May I just repeat, 120 miles an hour the wrong way, high on meth and fentanyl?
And he was back in jail, and $10,000 bail is basically what he's going to be able to pay to get out.
It's 7:39. And over to Ted Beener. What's coming up in traffic?
Well, we got a lot more cars on the road, and a lot of areas are slowing. Tell you more about it in just a few moments.
KIRO News Radio is right there with you.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us.
On your smart speaker before you head out the door.
We continue to be in recovery mode on northbound I-5.
Watch live on YouTube or the KIRO Newsradio app.
Newfangled idea of having to see the people while they're talking.
The office, the gym, wherever you are.
Get on the YouTube channel. The whole gang's there.
KIRO News Radio. 97.3 FM. Powered by mynorthwest.com.
Hey everyone, Hartley Wilcox here. And I'm Charlie Wilcox from Wilcox Family Farms. Our family's been raising hens and gathering fresh eggs right here for over 100 years.
That's right. Our hens roam free on green pastures, soaking up the sunshine and living their best chicken lives.
We don't do shortcuts. No cages, no chemicals, just honest-to-goodness eggs laid fresh every day.
And when you buy Wilcox eggs, you're not just getting breakfast. You're supporting local farmers like us. Clean food, and a family that's been doing it right for generations.
So next time you're at the grocery store,
skip the out-of-state eggs and grab the ones with our name on them.
Wilcox Family Farms. Fresh, local, trusted. Find fresh Wilcox eggs at Costco, Hagen's, or Whole Foods. And for a healthy snack on the go, grab some ready-to-eat hard-boiled eggs in a convenient to-go 2-pack. Wilcox Family Farms eggs, locally fresh since 1909.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
Change is always happening. It's part of life. And when it comes to music, change is all around us. Songs are rewritten. Classics are remixed. Bands and artists come and go. Even our taste in music changes. Here at Xfinity, we know there's still good in keeping some things the same. That's why we want to do our part with a 5-year price guarantee on our internet. It means no matter what changes, you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with our best equipment included for a price that stays exactly the same. Surprised? Life is full of them. One internet price, 5 years, guaranteed. Learn more at xfinity.com/deals. Restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024.
All right, it's 7:43, and Ted is watching traffic for us this morning.
And this traffic report is brought to you by the KIRO Radio Rundown. Coming in from Snohomish County, westbound across the trestle. Got some slowing there still. And southbound I-5, it bunches up from about the 405 split down into Shoreline. Southbound 405 is sluggish from Canyon Park to 160th and Bothell. And now as you go through the Totem Lake area. Coming in from the south end, northbound 167's got brake lights at times from Sumner to near Willis. From 212th up to 405 as well. And northbound 405, it is crawling from the Renton curves to the VMAC and northbound I-5. That's got slowing from the Port of Tacoma Road to State Route 18 and from before 320th to past 200th and again from the south end of Boeing Field into downtown. 509, that's got some braking as you go down the hill down to the First Avenue Bridge. Drive times, Auburn to Renton, 23 minutes. Renton to Bellevue is now 51 minutes. Federal Way to Seattle is about an hour. 38 minutes of those are from South Center. And Everett to Seattle, Bellevue, both of those are right around 55 minutes. The Narrows and Lake Bridges are doing well, but eastbound 18, that is still a slow go from Tiger Mountain to I-90. Text newsletter to 888-973-5476 and subscribe to the daily KIRO News Radio Rundown. Get the latest news and updates from your favorite KIRO News Radio shows straight to your inbox. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Ted Beater.
Starting to see a little more sunshine. We're headed for a high of 83 for today with a mix of sun and clouds. Tomorrow looks pretty much the same for your Friday as we wrap up the week. And then a bit of a change on Saturday. We do have a chance of seeing some thunderstorms and 76, so we'll see partly cloudy skies otherwise. And then on Sunday, isolated showers and 72. Right now in Seattle, partly sunny and 61.
The NFL regular season gets underway tonight.
You know, we have failed to mention that so far this morning.
I know.
I'm super excited about it.
I'm super excited too. And viewers are going to notice something different this season on the league's popular Red Zone channel. What's going on here, Katrina?
Okay, so it's long been billed as 7 hours of commercial-free football.
Hungry for some excitement, enthusiasm, entertainment?
But NFL Red Zone host Scott Hansen tells the Pat McAfee Show a limited number of ads will air on the channel that captures the scoring play of every single game.
We will not miss a touchdown. We will not say, oh, okay, this is 1st and goal from the 5, but let's sell some pizza or pick up trucks.
So the ads will air in a double box format with a commercial and it's audio in one and the game action in another. So What are your thoughts on this, guys?
Well, they got to pay for the show somehow, right?
Yeah. You know, the NFL with their revenue struggles. I'm kidding.
No, they're fine.
They're fine. Yeah. Well, there you go, Katrina. What do you think?
Oh, everyone's got bills to pay.
All right.
Yep.
Okay. Coming up on Seattle's Morning News, we check in with CBS's Scott McFarland, talking about now a plan to perhaps deploy federal troops to New Orleans. Scott will break it down for us next on Seattle's Morning News.
Free consultations, no fee guarantees, 5-star reviews. JP Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains the importance of going beyond these familiar offerings.
Accident victims want an attorney, Tom, that satisfies their needs. Someone who handles those needs with the highest degree of care. Pendergast Law offers the no-fee guarantees and free consultations, but these only scratch the surface.
Okay, explain more.
We make sure that every member of our team is genuinely passionate about helping others. Customer service and communication are our top priority. It's how we take care of our clients so they always feel one step ahead of the insurance companies. Our strong reputation for high standards provides comfort and confidence when it's needed most.
Pendergast Law offers the free consultations, the no-fee guarantees, and of course, they are 5-star rated. But what really makes them different is their genuine passion for helping others. I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
That's PendergastLaw.com.
You hear that? That's the sound of your business losing money. Legacy phone systems weren't built for today's teams. Open Phone gives your business a smarter way to stay connected. Open Phone lets you manage calls, texts, voicemail, and contacts all in one place so that you and your team can deliver a seamless customer experience from ring to... Need to take calls on the go? Open Phone automatically transcribes, summarizes, and highlights next steps from every call, so you never miss a detail. Need insight into what closes a sale? With Open Phone's AI call tags, you can instantly spot key topics like objections or pricing questions, and use those insights to coach your team and level up every customer interaction. And yes, you can bring your existing number with you for free. Keep your team in sync and your customers happy with Open Phone. Open Phone. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Open Phone for free at openphone.com/free and get 20% off your first 6 months. That's openphone.com/free. openphone.com/FREE.
Hey homeowners, John Curley here. Why not improve your home's comfort and efficiency now? Plus, save 50 to 75% by combining tax credits, rebates, and incentives on a new heat pump from Home Comfort Alliance. Visit homecomfortalliance.com.
Nearly half the homes in Western Washington are not properly insulated or not insulated at all. Sound like your home? Then call for your free inspection.
InsulationNorthwest.com. News matters. Experience counts. You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's Morning News.
Well, President Donald Trump yesterday suggested he could deploy federal troops to New Orleans, his latest threat to use the federal government to crack down on crime in a city run by a Democrat.
We check in now live with Scott McFarland from CBS News. He joins us from Washington, D.C. for the latest on this. So where do things stand, Scott? We are still anticipating Chicago as well, right?
The president's talked openly about when this will happen, not if this will happen, indicating that it's a done deal and potentially that it's imminent. The governor of Illinois does not want the Guard deployed. The mayor of Chicago does not want the Guard deployed. And that's very similar to what happened in Los Angeles and Washington, D.C., isn't it? If this comes to pass, and if it comes to pass, say, tomorrow or this weekend, it's going to look a lot more like what happened in Los Angeles, where you'd have the federal Guard, the National Guard troops protecting courthouses, federal buildings in the city, perhaps federal agents who might be doing federal immigration enforcement in the city. They're not just going to be manning posts on neighborhood streets with guns as they are in Washington, D.C., because, Charlie and Amanda, the president has unique authority in Washington, D.C. He can just unilaterally call up the Guard in the federal district. He can't do that in an American city.
What's the crime rate like in New Orleans right now?
Well, there's been this argument that some of these states that have sent the National Guard to Washington, D.C., Republican governors who've done so, including Louisiana's governor, have communities with crime rates that are similar to Washington, D.C. At least, there's some connective tissue between the types of crime and the volume of crime they get per capita in New Orleans and what you see in Washington, D.C. Same is true in Cleveland. Ohio sent the National Guard. Same is true in Jackson, Mississippi. Mississippi sent the National Guard. So there's a criticism that there's no need to have out-of-state troops here if the out-of-state troops could instead be helping local law enforcement in their own communities.
And Scott, I think the big difference here is we've got a Republican governor in Louisiana who's saying, you're welcome here, whereas the governors of the other states are Democrats. Behind the scenes, how is that affecting the calculus for these troop deployments?
It's hard to ignore the political reality here, and so much of this is intermixed with politics, but there doesn't seem to be a lot of political losers here on this whole dispute and this whole debate. The president believes this is wonderful political terrain to be walking on, where you look like you're tough on crime, you're taking crime seriously, that's a boost for the president and for Republicans who support this vocally. The home state governors and mayors, they're getting a jolt and a galvanizing of their bases, their community. Washington, D.C.'s mayor has never had so much tension on her in her third term here in office, and she's got a vibrant base now that thinks she is defending them. Same can be true for Chicago's mayor and Illinois' governor. And I think it's also worth underscoring that these three cities, the first three cities the president has picked this fight outside of Washington, D.C., are Los Angeles, Chicago, Baltimore. Each of those cities has a governor in the state who's a 2028 hopeful.
Interesting. What kind of precedent might this set for future presidents when it comes to using military and domestic law enforcement? Is the genie out of the bottle?
I think it's an interesting question because there's so excuse me. Pardon me. I swear to you, there's flies in Washington, D.C., and I just enjoyed one for breakfast. Is this a precedent setter? Or is this something people try to avoid moving forward? It's an open question with all that Trump does.
We're going to let you run get some water, Scott.
Yeah, thank goodness you weren't on TV, Scott. I'm glad you're on radio right now. Scott McFarland, thank you. It's 7:53 now. We check in with Ted Beener at the traffic desk.
Thank you, Charlie. As we approach the second peak of the morning commute, more cars are on the road. We've got lots of areas of slowing, and they include northbound I-5 from the Fife curve to State Route 18, from about 320th to past 200th, and from the south end of Boeing Field into downtown. Northbound 167, that's got braking at times from State Route 18 to near Willis, and again from 212th to 405. Northbound 405 is a crowded drive from the Renton curves to the VMAC. Coming in from Snohomish County, southbound 405 is sluggish from before Canyon Park through 160th and Bothell, and again from Totem Lake to 85th. And southbound I-5, that's got brake lights from before the 405 split down across the county line into Shoreline, and now from 85th to the Ship Canal Bridge. Westbound 522 has got slowing from the Snohomish River to Echo Lake, and again approaching the 405 merge. Some drive times, Everett to Seattle Bellevue, both of those are right around 55 minutes. Olympia to Tacoma, that is 38 minutes. Tacoma to Seattle is an hour and 10 minutes. Puyallup up to Renton, that drive time is 45 minutes, while on northbound 405, Renton to Bellevue, that drive time is now close to 50 minutes. I'm Ted Beener with KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic.
Nice couple of days. We're going to be around 83 for today with a mix of sun and clouds. Tomorrow, pretty much the same, maybe a tad cooler. Saturday, isolated thunderstorms a possibility and a high of 76. And then Sunday, only 72 with the chance of a few showers. Right now, it's 61 in Seattle.
All right, you ready for my X-Files talk?
I don't know.
Well, coming up, we have a guy from SETI, the Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence.
I'm ready. Bring it on.
I'm not making this up. There is this mysterious object from outside our solar system that is headed for the sun.
Oh, interesting.
Nothing to worry about, right?
No, everything's fine.
So he's going to break that down, why he thinks it might not be aliens, but we'll talk about it. That'll be coming up at 8:15 here on Seattle's Morning News. We'll also have the day's top local stories, and you can always contact the show, text us. We're at 888-973-5476. This is Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
Hey, it's John Curley with Dr. Kopstein from K2 Vision RLE. Doc, I heard that 50% of Americans have their lenses replaced by the time they're 75.
That's exactly right, John. As we near 50, our eye's natural lens starts to become dysfunctional. If you've now added readers to your need for glasses and contacts, it's a sign the quality and function of your natural lens is fading, and it's a steady decline towards cataracts.
Don't go another 20-plus years with poor vision, hassling with contacts and readers. Do what I did. Choose a quick, painless refractive lens exchange from K2 Vision RLE and start enjoying great vision now.
Our new lens technology is truly amazing. After replacing over 100,000 lenses, we have the experience to guide each patient to their best solution, even if that experts recommending you wait a little while before RLE.
K2 Vision RLE can restore distance and near vision permanently, plus never develop a cataract. Read the reviews and schedule a free Zoom consultation now at k2visionrle.com.
Underestimating the trucking industry is one of the biggest mistakes I see victims and other lawyers make. Trucking companies have an army of lawyers and experts who act quickly after an accident to protect the company. Only an experienced trucking accident lawyer can navigate the complicated federal and state laws to protect your rights. If you or a loved one has been injured in a trucking accident, call Davis Law Group today for a free consultation or get my free book on trucking accident law at washingtonaccidentbooks.com.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other, so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals, and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio, so we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
What other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, it sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio Northwest News.
The absolute best savings on a hot tub aren't at the fair. They're at Olympic Hot Tub. Get a truly untoppable deal. Purchase a saltwater hot spring spa and get a Lux Smart Top hardcover free. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Lowe's knows you've got a job to do, and we help get it done. With the MyLowe's Pro Rewards program, eligible members save more with volume discounts on qualifying orders through a quote of $2,000 or more. Join for free today. Lowe's, we help, you save. Offer can't be combined with any other discount, contract, and/or special pricing. Exclusions, more terms, and restrictions apply. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.
Hi, I'm Justin Shirley. We offer 0 down, 0 interest, and 0 payments for 24 months on new roofs. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF now. State Roofing and Exteriors. Held to a higher standard since 1968.
Care Partners Senior Living is growing. Amanda here. We are very excited to introduce our newest communities in Port Orchard, Sumner, and North Creek Bothell, bringing compassionate, quality care at an affordable price, closer to more of you. Visit carepartnersliving.com today.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM, and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Steve Kathan.
Enough is enough. RFK Jr. has got to go.
Wisconsin Democrat Tammy Baldwin joined with others outside the Capitol ahead of Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s appearance before a Senate committee, with controversy swirling about vaccines and his leadership shakeup at the Centers for Disease Control. He called the firings absolutely necessary.
It's imperative that we remove officials with conflicts of interest and catastrophically bad judgment and political agendas. We need unbiased, politics-free, transparent, evidence-based science in the public interest.
Florida has moved to end vaccine mandates for children. 3 western states, Washington, Oregon, and California, have teamed up to form their own vaccine alliance. Candace DeMatteis is with the Partnership to Fight Infectious Disease.
So I think what we would end up with is a patchwork of different policies depending on what state you are in, and that could affect the vaccination rates. It might also affect access to vaccines.
Ukraine's President Zelensky and European leaders met in Paris today with U.S. envoy Steve Witkoff discussing long-term security guarantees once the fighting with Russia ends. A peace deal remains elusive. CBS's Natalie Brand.
Zelensky